insane! He's pulling backwards, and luckily Lun is there to secure his back, making sure that he doesn't get locked down. Oh my goodness, Fossa finding the kills when necessary. ABCD having to use that Purify.
Oh, well, of course, he really got to use that in time before the maximum charge actually spray him down in that sort of distance. But, you know, that maximum charge, well, what am I even saying? There's not even that could be right there. But we're looking at JPL, hoping to actually secure his bottom side here, trying to actually open things up, but Lun gets caught out!
Oh my goodness, and now Fossa coming in with the blazing throw. He's chucking out everybody. No one can stop him. And ABCDE, you gotta hold your abilities until you see Fossa or Soul, nobody else.
Oh my, this is just really hard to watch, as we saw, of course, a great momentum at first for side of Siren Clan. Now, they don't really seem to be able to actually crack open the way to actually catch Fossa down. And mind you, he hasn't fallen a single time at all, and even Ambush, he knows that he gets sustained, but he can't really afford that sort of a melee matchup, as we can see that both of these members of EVOS have already pressurized him all the way back to the tower.
Yeah, this is such a difficult game for Siren Clan because ABCD has to make some hard choices in terms of whether to use the knockback if they get too close to A1, A2. And now they're slowly pushing back. I think they should also be holding their flame shots and not use it so aggressively, but use it defensively just to kind of stop the aggression from EVOS if they are looking to get on top of their main carry A1, A2.
Yeah, and for a moment they went all Stormtrooper mode. They just shoot whatever that they can get into those sort of bushes. Okay, maybe EVOS members are right there, and you might just be able to actually pop them down to maybe low health. But, you know, early on, Siren Clan, they almost get caught out once again in the mid lane. They were playing a little bit more riskily, but they needed to actually do something to actually stop Fossa from scaling over the top. And what I really love about Fossa for these couple of seasons is that he's so flexible and he can play just about anything at all. Now Joe's going to be pressing on a little bit of that pressure over on the buff, and they will actually lose it.
Turtle resurrecting soon.
Yep, they're slowly peeling backwards here. Siren Clan, ooh, not doing it as hard as they were in game one, but EVOS looks like they've kind of adapted to the way Siren kind of plays out and baiting some good spells, making sure that they punish. So far, doing so good. 7k goal lead for the side of EVOS SG.
And looking at the situation right, of course, there's a little bit of that sort of deficit for the Siren Clan to actually catch up upon. But we're looking at EVOS still taking their sweet time here to make sure that everything is pretty much in check. And they've already got all the waves crashing in. Endless battle being bought here by Fossa. And he can definitely just dive in to belt somebody down with that blazing duet.
Yeah, they have to play this slow. And Lord is coming up in about 87 seconds here. This is going to be a very difficult game if EVOS doesn't secure this Lord. They have such a big lead, like there's no reason for them not to. However, they're all going to be in one place, and as long as they keep up the split push, Siren Clan is just forced. Oh, JPL, what a play! He flickers on forward and gets Joe with the ejector. He's going to sacrifice his own life to make this happen. Fossa in the backline, just with double buffs, have chunked everybody out. What a play, 2 for 1. In favor of EVOS SG.
My goodness, they just execute that so cleanly, but of course, they have to actually let JPL go in that sort of instance. And he just dove right in, not to actually get all of that sort of the advantage for the team. But now Sirens can still actually hold on for a little bit longer.
Yeah, they will be, but again, the lead is just so defined for EVOS. There's no way that Siren Clan should be well, technically there's no way for Siren Clan to be able to contest this Lord in the next 26 seconds, but you know, EVOS, they gotta be careful. Looking at the spells, there's a lot. Okay, the Fossa does have Retribution, so they do have a way to secure it.
Yeah, and I do think that, of course, there's a little bit of that sort of a pressure coming in from the side of Siren Clan to react, but of course, it's definitely risky for them to even get anywhere close to that Lord.
Lord resurrecting
if they can actually
soon.
defend on this wave all too well, I think that it still will be manageable for this Lord to come right in.
Yeah, it's going to be an important Lord for EVOS here because they want to be able to secure this game for themselves. A clean 2-0 to shoot up the standings and claim their top spot later on. They're going to get some damage into Joe here, but they're having JPL in the flanks. He is ready to go. His flicker is coming back up soon, but Ambush knows what his job is. He is going to push that lane as far as possible. EVOS secure, and Fossa wants Baba Yaga. They're trading Rhapsody for Blazing Duet.
Oh, fine. They actually walked out unscathed and were almost falling real flat right there. But they've already expected that. Okay, since the Lord is done, there's no point for them to actually commit anything at all inside the jungle. They just fall all the way back into safety. And now they need plan B. Like, what exactly can they actually do? Especially when there's so much of that pressure coming from the side of Soul. Though he wasn't really in much of that team fight, he actually opened up a lot of all these opportunities. Baba Yaga falling real low, but it's going to be Joe that falls to the hands of Bossa for his 8th kill of the game.
Oh, not enough damage coming in from A1, A2. You can definitely see the discrepancy in terms of damage here. An 11k goal lead in favor of EVOS. They want to secure this game.
Looking at Soul, he's ready to actually attack with Clear Dragon ready. As we will hop right in the Lord and is launching in towards the face. And this might just be Bossa taking one more kill in the back as EVOS SG looks to secure a clean 2-0-1 against our clan as Ambus will be melted down. And eventually this game will still be in favor of EVOS.
Oh my goodness, just the veteran players coming in from EVOS, Soul, and JPL, those guys are absolutely nuts. They find angles that I just cannot believe. Like, Baba Yaga was so far back, and yet Soul was still able to figure out a way to get right on top of it. That was a tough game. Definitely a tough game.
A really hard way for them to actually find a better way to actually manage the game coming from Siren Clan. But hey, I really respect how they actually put up all these sort of the great combat moves against EVOS SG, because not many of all these teams, especially like, you know, EVOS SG, they usually read the games also well against all the Malaysian teams, and they look like they were really in a messy state in the early game against Siren Clan.
Yeah, that was a really tough game, and it looks like Siren Clan, even though they had a very good idea coming into Game 2, they weren't able to as well because of such playmaking capabilities coming in from JPL as well as Soul, who really just shut down the main the main carries from the team. But let's move on. I kind of want to see whether or not they were able to put enough damage here, because you can already see that A1, A2, he doesn't have a lot of gold to work with. They were funneling the gold into Baba Yaga.
And eventually we see, of course, Joe playing so much of that supporting role that he usually takes a couple of those first hits, and EVOS eventually found that hole in the wall to actually crack things out in the open. And well, early game we saw those crazy flame shots where even with that Farsa's ult, they could just easily attack anyone that's over on the front line or even in the back line as well. But you know, later stages, although their composition coming from Siren Clan was in a way really great, and of course way much more improvement coming in from a couple of weeks, they're fine-tuning to do for the side of Siren.
Yeah, for sure. But, you know, it's a really good start. They were able to put a tough game in Game 1. Game 2, not so much. And they definitely showed some weakness there, weaknesses that were exploited by EVOS. So at least they can go back to the drawing board and say, hey, we actually did not too bad against the defending champions so far. And just look at the damage. Like, A1, A2 was able to put in 31% of the team's overall damage, but Forza is just really consistent with his performance.
Oh yeah, and I gotta say that he definitely deserves a little bit of that pat in the back. But let's look at the highlights here, brought to you by our official telco partners, YouTube, of course. A very interesting 2 versus 1 where we almost see Ambus taking down Forza, but instead, of course, they're just waiting for Forza to finish up the kill. This is where, of course, all those sort of shots are being fired in between, and EVOS managed to actually find themselves a little bit of that snowball potential, but Fossa just crashes right in with a perfect blazing duet to secure a double kill.
Yep, and it's just been game after game. It looks so similar when EVOS starts playing seriously and they have their playmakers, they will take advantage. And like, look at Fossa here, consistently able to chunk out members without sacrificing himself. He knows when to go in and out with the plot, and this was a great play by JPL, just one of a kind. And look at Soul at the side there, looking for an opportunity to get on top of someone, and he eventually finds it as well.
Yeah, and of course, JPL, he's just that meat shield to make sure that they displace members of the Siren Clan. And yeah, we're talking about that Lord crashing right through, and they got to react really quickly, and Baba Yaga was the first one to be flipped in towards the targets then. And well, what more to be said right here, because EVOS seem to already have it in the bat from that sort of the Lord marching in.
Yeah, and just great game overall, like high quality for sure from these teams. looks like both teams have much to learn. EVOS looking much better than they were before in game game 2 than in game 1. However, Siren Clan, it looks like the ceiling has just been risen for them.
Yeah, of course. I think that, of course, you got to go back to the drawing board to really figure things out before it gets too late, because playoffs are getting closer and closer, and Siren Clan really looks promising. I really would love to see them play offline to actually fight off against some of the best out there. But, what's been said and done has already been over, and EVOS SG takes that three-pointer coming in to still prove that they are here to stay. And, of course, we still have more matches coming up right after this. But, wow, we didn't really expect that sort of both.
So much resistance.
Yeah, so much resistance coming in from Siren Clan. It felt like a boxing match that went on for ages.
For sure. And it's nice to know that Siren Clan, I hope that it's not too late for Siren Clan to actually make it into playoffs here. But, we're just going to have to wait and see if their potential truly hits their ceiling. Now, for what you guys been waiting for, game code has been given out. Remember, #greed is good here at the MPL. You're playing a carry position. You want that gold, you take that gold.
You take all that we give. Of course, there's even more codes to be given away throughout the entirety of the stream today. So don't say that there's no codes for all of you guys. If you blink, you miss.
Yep. Now, this is going to give it, we're going to keep the codes there. All right, pat that down. The next upcoming game, ooh boy, this is going to be between Orange Esports Reborn up against Notorious Villains. This is super interesting because I think, even amongst all the casters, we're kind of split between who's going to be able to win this one.
Oh, yeah, and I do think that it was pretty 50-50 in that sort of sense, and we saw yesterday Notorious Villains are showing their vulnerable side for a little bit more, as Siren will actually go on to take the 2-0 sweep. But now that they're against Orange Esports Reborn, who, of course, got promoted pretty much recently in towards the regular season, they are still looking for that footing as well. So both sides are pretty much dead even because there are strengths and weaknesses on both ends.
We're going to talk about it more after we come back from the break, but you guys are watching the MPL-MY Seasons 5, sponsored by Official Digital Telco Udo and brought to you by EGG Network as well as Muntun. We'll catch you right back.
One shot, one kill!
An ally has been legendary! Double kill! Triple kill! Mega kill! Double kill! Triple kill! Legendary! An ally has been slain. Your team destroyed a turret. Godlike.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
You have slain an enemy. Double kill.
Where's my mommy and daddy?
Killing spree. Your team destroyed a turret.
Where's my mommy and daddy?
Shut down. Unstoppable. Double kill. Triple kill.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
darkness has awakened.
Team destroyed a legendary. Launch attack. An enemy has been slain. Launch attack. Legendary. Legendary. Double kill. You have slain an enemy. Double kill. Legendary. Double kill.
Download for free Mobile Legends.
Fighting Jimmy! Let the weak melt away!
Legendary. Legendary. Double kill. Triple kill. You have slain an enemy. Ally has been double kill. Triple kill. Maniac. An enemy has been slain. Your team destroyed a turret. Legendary. Double kill.
Free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Welcome to Mobile Legends.
Catch the recaps of the results and the top best highlights from MPL-MY SG Season 5. Learn from your favorite pro players' meta and stats. Be on the lookout to see this season's pro players' picks and item builds. Think your favorite team has what it takes to rise to the top? Find that out on Spotlight, a post-game show for MPL-MY SG Season 5, brought to you by Mobile Legends Bang Bang and EGG Network.
I love the smell of gunpowder in the morning. One shot, one kill.
An ally has been legendary. Double kill.
Hey, and we're already back with the MPL Season 5 MYSG, officially sponsored by our digital telco, Udo, and brought to you by the EGG Network as well as Moon. We're back with the second series of the day. First series already done, Siren Clan EVOS passed. Done.
Yeah,
Don't
of
even
course.
remember that.
Now it's a brand new episode right here, of course. It's going to be a different sort of teams that will be playing out, and it will be Orange Esports against Notorious Villains. So, of course, this definitely will be a fresh new sort of terrain for the side of Notorious Villains because if I do recall correctly, they may not have actually played games against each other all too much.
Yeah, and that's what's really exciting about this because both teams, I'm ready to see whether or not they have what it takes.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, you guys have been popping up with those requests, and we will fulfill the request with more codes to come.
Greed is good once again. They're feeling, man, I'm telling you, production's feeling real generous today, and they are dropping in the codes like they are hot pockets here, okay? A little too hot for you. Ooh, take it quick before it burns my hands.
Oh, yeah, of course. Make sure you just type it all in the redemption website right down below. And, of course, just follow the steps, and you're good to go. Even more stuff coming up next. But, of course, let's talk about this sort of matchup between these two teams. So far, Envy, yesterday, I'm not too sure what really went on. It's either, of course, Siren Clan has already got themselves all buffed up, and it seemed like they might have underestimated Siren Clan for a little bit more, but I think that today they may not make the same mistakes anymore.
I hope they don't, because Orange is a formidable opponent here. So, we're going to have to wait and see. But let's check out some of the featured players here that you should keep your eyes on for this game. It's going to be Gringo on the Leomord. You know, Leomord has been showing up a little bit more. I don't think he kind of fits in this meta still. However, we're just going to kind of have to wait and see, because, again, we've seen other mobile professional leagues kind of like try and see who is the most suitable to actually compensate for the weaknesses in the current meta.
That's right, of course. Flame Shot meta has been pushing away a lot of all these melee matchups for a little bit, but now let's have a look in towards our featured player for Notorious Villains, and it will be Swan, one of the veterans of the scene, as he definitely will be playing that Kufra. And of course, you want to make sure that you will be roaming all across, and of course, terrorizing your opponents with those unreacted Tyrant's Rage from across. So make sure, of course, to copy some of those builds that are ready, and who knows, you might be able to get yourself featured in the MPL one day.
Hey, one day it is. You know, Swan has been playing for quite some time, previously playing for Resurgence and now for Envy. Hopefully that experience is going to, you know, help them, give them an edge, especially when it comes to like a lot of, not just shot calling, but in general, but more of like, you know, when it comes to, hey, this might not be too good, or this is a little too rash, and so that everybody is, you know, stuck on the same page.
That's right. And of course, so far, I think that with so many roster changes coming in for every single season, it's about adapting to all the playstyles of your teammates, and of course respecting each other as well, and forming up that chemistry. So when you get into the battleground, you know that whatever happens, you got each other's back, or whether if you say it or not. And of course, communication is the key to victory as well.
So I'm kind of interested, Aaron, because, you know, amongst the casters, like, we're kind of like split 50-50 between Orange and Envy here. Who do you think is actually going to be able to win this series? Like, disregard numbers, but just winning the series in general between Envy and Orange. Like,
well,
which are you leaning towards to?
I'm looking at Envy. I feel like, of course, they have been playing for such a long time. They really want to uphold their glory days. Of course, back then when Kolia was still back in the EVOS SG, they managed to make it all the way up towards the grand finals round. So who knows, they might be able to actually push their way in. But there's a lot of times we've seen all these newcomers emerging from the qualifiers all the way in towards the playoffs and grand finals before, and let the games begin between Orange Esports versus Notorious Villains.
Yep, it looks like pretty much the exact same ban so far in the previous games. Farsa and Selena are going to be banned out. Ooh, Grok this time on top of the Ling. This does open up a number of options for Orange Esports, but they could easily just go with the Diggy if they wanted to here, and that's going to limit them. The only reason that, like, I personally don't like the Diggy first pick is because it kind of limits your compositions, like, super narrow off the bat. And I think it can be punishable later on, but again, still, you have like 2 to 3 comps that you can build around it. Marsa has been taken off, so no.
Valir being left out in the open early on, but I believe that there is a specific reason where Aaron just locks in the system first. So it is definitely much safer for the side of Envy to secure both of these picks from the get-go.
Diggy.
Yeah, and that's really going to deter Orange Esports from like heroes with like hard engage. Kufra might not look as good as he used to be now that you see like Diggy as well as the Valir. Like, oh, even if I do somehow manage to get into the middle of the team, I could get pushed away. Diggy could just use his time journey, everybody walks out. That's how really frustrating it is to be like a tank strong engage in this particular meta.
Yes, indeed. And now that we're talking about strong engages, that Jawhead definitely will be the one diving in to find their way to catch on towards that Valir. But, you know, if he builds a lot more defensive items, it's going to be a little bit more tricky. So any backup plans for the side of Orange Esports, which you feel like, you know, they can find a way to dive in to catch out Valir?
My guess is that they could look, because I mean, the moment you lock into Sicilian and then you see the Granger as well as the Jawhead, my guess is that they either could go for a team fight oriented composition that requires you to have a little bit more funneling into both of these heroes, or they can look to just make like a hyper carry Grengo's Granger so far. And I think that's one way they want to take it and kind of let Notorious Villains do the engaging for them.
Oh, yes, indeed. Of course, they're going to bring up the shield as well as the hammers into the matchup here with Kolia versus Lita. So it's going to be blocking some of all this damage coming from Death Nada for sure. But, like, you know, if it's going to be a close quarter combat, it might just be a little bit difficult to actually, find the way to deal with not only that, but Siren as well.
He can block projectiles, however, that isn't going to stop the AoE damage. I guess it is an interesting take on it, but at least it nullifies the Death Sonata. Death Sonata if she's like right in front. But coming in for the bans here, Carry and as well as Cho for the first phase. Notorious going to go with Wan Wan here.
Picking.
I really like this pick, to be honest. Not many teams actually hover on towards Wan Wan for the fact that, of course, it takes a little time to ramp up into this game. But, late game is where she really shines the brightest out of all these sort of marksmen so far. There was that option of Claude, but I guess this definitely is something that could actually bring them quite a lot more. But Terizla, not really get alongside with them, but they will still lock it in.
Your team is picking.
We talked about flame shots and everything else. Are they up to date?
I don't know, man. I'm looking at this draft and I'm like, what? In what right world does Terizla and Leomore go in the same composition ever? Like there is no way for Terizla to get in on the Notorious villains, and Initially, I was thinking, you know what? Maybe Notorious villains, they gush even better. Like, wow, they're going to be able to, like, one-shot this Granger while not taking a lot of damage back. But more importantly, that Wan Wan pick, that ultimate is going to be so good to dodging ultimates coming in from Orange Esports. I would have liked them to go for Bruno to have, like, a very early game aggressive composition, but my god. This is, I don't know, we'll have to wait. I think Notorious villains have an advantage.
Yeah, I do think so as well, because, like, you know, something seems a little bit off. Because the members of Orange Esports is playing a really aggressive composition, but it's all pretty much in a very short range, and they need a lot of gold to make this work. But we'll see whether or not can they actually take 1 point in their hands against Notorious villains, as both will collide in this best of 3 series.
I'm excited to see how this plays out. I do like myself at Terizla, I'm not gonna lie. However, in Orange Esports' composition, he's gonna scale off very, very soon. Flame Shot is a problem. He'll almost never land that third hit or that ultimate as well, as long as they have that Flame Shot. So
till the enemy
we're
reaches
just
the
gonna have to wait
battlefield.
and see as we go into the game. It looks like now is going
All
to be
troops
the hyper carry. Gringo is going into be the. I'm assuming the support. Nope, not going to be the support. The offlaner this time.
Oh wow, I'm not too sure how would they actually deal with some of all these sort of dives, but then again, not many of these players would think of like diving in Terizla if he does have his ultimate all available. So that's definitely the risk, but definitely very, very vulnerable.
Yeah, and you can see Mom has already been chunked out quite a bit, and Notorious villains immediately invade the blue side using the auto alarm bombs to keep away Mom. Mom trying to buy some time, but First Blood already being secured here for that Terizla. How did that even happen?
It happened in the sun. I think he got caught out, and it seems like 10 will be the next one to fall. 2-0 in favor of the side of Orange Esports. I think he got to take our words back.
Yeah, it looks like it's going really, really well for Orange Esports. They've already netted themselves 2 free kills. And, you know, Notorious villains, even though the composition is very early game oriented, especially with the supports. And yeah, I don't think it was a bad decision. However, Gushin dying there at his blue, definitely something I did not expect to see.
I definitely would say that it's something that was quite shocking, to be honest. And we're looking at Grango here, have no issues with that for 1v1 trade jungle. We're looking at Swan getting picked up, and he kind of has the flicker as well, so he didn't really want to utilize it, so he's giving 1 more kill on the side of Orange.
Yeah, and now Orange Esports is going to be hanging around the top side. Trizla can self-sustain here. He doesn't really care what's going to happen to him. But now Kolia taking quite a bit of damage. The auto alarm bombs and a kill secure in the mid lane against Stan from the Jawhead. Why are these kills going over to Orange?
Oh my, I guess that's sort of a heavy commitment, or a couple of maneuvering mistakes coming over, and oh, there it goes! Hallucinate goes down for the second time coming, and my oh my, now I kind of get the composition of our team. They just really want to go as a unit, just go in for those dives, and if they crash as 5 members all together, there's nothing much that they can do. Like, you look at Hallucinate, he's already losing the game and can't really catch back up in a couple more minutes.
Yeah, they've already put Hallucinate significantly behind here. However, again, remember the hyper carry is going to be Chan this time. Sian in the top, Sian is going to be put in a position where he has to, support. He's not playing his usual off-lane role, which I find a little weird.
Yeah, it's a little bit off, but it's okay.
Turtle
You still
resurrect.
actually explore some of all these sort of different roles throughout the entirety of the season. But we're already looking at Orange Esports here, who are looking to secure the very first turtle of the game. Already 5-0, but Notorious is hoping to change that. Kylo's already spotting out one on the corner, and this is definitely going to be the turtle and the weird side of Orange Esports.
Yep, Orange Esports now maintaining mid-control and mid-priority. Notorious Villains is there just to maintain their distance as well, trying to set the borders up. But however, this bot lane isn't going as well as Hallucinates as wanted. He's already given over 2 kills. He has the buff now, but again, there is no way he can one-shot Terizla because of the body of the Smith passive.
Oh yeah, like look at him go. He just really not sure about what's really going on down there. But Lon losing on the battle right there. It's not supposed to happen. And Rango is going to be knocking him back, and he goes in for a flicker. Hallucinates won't be able to get one back.
Gringo kind of trolled there. He should have flickered while he was in the middle of his third hit.
Yeah.
That's a little unfortunate, but honestly well played to Hallucinates there, able to quickly use his ultimate as a way to kind of dash out of the way, to sit on top, securing the kill out the jawhead before walking back into turret safety.
That's right, and now we're looking at more members of Orange Esports just securing a lot of advantage points as we are hoping to actually catch out some rotating members from the side of NV, but NV now taking a little bit caution. They are playing very defensively, as you can tell from the map. They are all standing at the end points. Kolia being forced to use his time journey, and here comes Bondo.
He's already going in pretty hard. Mom taking quite a bit of damage. Swan is still alive. My goodness! And then he overshoots. Mom trying to predict where it is. Lolita is going to go down as well. A double kill coming in from Orange Esports is a massacre.
Oh my, this is definitely something that we didn't really expect it, but this composition worked so well as they will be able to find Siren at the back, and they have proved the doubters wrong, and of course, our predictions are going into chance.
Yep, and Gringo has just purchased his Bloodlust axe already, and the same thing, and the same goes for Aaron. It looks like Orange Esports is playing a skirmish-heavy composition, and they're going in 2 to 3s instead of 1 and 4s, which is kind of interesting. It's a breath of fresh air for sure, considering what the meta is looking like.
Yeah, of course, there's no one way to play the game, and they have definitely proved that they have found their way of securing this victory. But Silo, he's just standing still like a rock, not really caring all too much about all these attacks coming in from Swan, and they will be able to actually take one more tower towards the hands of Orange Esports. And, well, 9,000.
Let's see whether Orange Esports is good at the finisher here, because we're getting close towards the 8-minute mark, and that's when Lord is going to spawn after this turtle. It's going to be important for Orange Esports to secure the game there and then, and a lot of teams just struggle to do that in general.
Yeah, now they're going to be finding it a lot more harder because all these sort of Orange Esports members are getting so much tankier, and here comes a little bit of engagement coming from Brangle, knocking Sin up in the air, have to fight right through. We'll be able to find Valir, but that will be a 1-for-1 exchange, but definitely Immortality being popped right there for Silo, and oh my! 8 members of NV falling flat!
Oh man, this is not looking good for Envy. They are 10k behind at 6 minutes into the game. This might be Orange Esports' game here against Notorious Villains, because again, Envy had just made too many mistakes in the early game. They gave a lot of pressure over to Orange Esports. They got punished for it. Now, Orange Esports aren't letting go of this lead.
Now, of course, with this really heavy swing of momentum in favor of them, they can definitely just boss their way inside the jungle territory. And Envy could not even think of stepping in towards the jungle right now, whether or not if it's the turtle side or not. And of course, it's just 7 minutes of play, and Jawhead has already got himself that immortality.
Turtle resurrecting
really
soon.
dive in whenever he pleases. So Silo really put up such a good job in this early run.
Yeah, they're doing so well. Turtle going to fall into the hands of Orange Esports. On top of their monumental lead, they're going to get Turtle buff as well. And now, wait, hold on, Silo taking quite a bit of damage here, but nobody really hard commits onto Notorious Villains. They see the rest of Orange Esports respond, and they just have to back away.
Yeah, now we're seeing a little bit more rotations coming in. With Zero more just guarding the top side here. That's going to be a 1-1 to deal with that situation up top. Latina Shield being bought there by Swan. So far, Swan needs to actually find a really good opening to actually catch a member or two with their ultimate there for Orange Esports. But
the bomb stack. Momtix loses 50% of his HP, but he can spell vamp it up to the end. Looks like Orange Esports wants to take away this final tier 2 of the game. The last one, they break it open, and now the inhibitors are exposed. They're the only turrets left. Notorious Villains just have to hold out.
I don't think that they have enough damage to actually bring down the members of Orange Esports at this point of time. This is a little bit way too beefy, and not only that, they have to find Mal to actually take him down, because that's the main source of damage alongside with Silo, who's already got so many of these kills, and so far looking very clean for the side of Orange Esports. And well, they're just being great bosses right now.
Yeah, and now Orange Esports, they don't have to do anything. They're pushing the waves. However, they could look to potentially dive. They got such a large lead. They could either potentially dive or just wave control, where they just wait for the waves to kind of crash into each other. Hopefully Envy walks out, and when they do, they ambush him.
Yeah, and you look at Aaron, he has such a take health for himself. Like, he doesn't really need to actually care all too much whether or not if Sen or Chin will be able to actually strike them down, because there's so many of these backups coming in from the side of Orange Esports. Like, if they need any sort of help at all, Silo will be flying his way in towards the battle anytime soon.
Yeah, and now Silo taking his time, holding his ground. Looks like they are going to start pushing
Lord resurrecting
towards
soon.
the end there, but Lord is coming up, and this is the moment they've been waiting for. It only took them, 9 minutes and 42 seconds until the Lord has spawned. Now Orange Esports, they could bait this out.
Yeah, no, we're already seeing Mel here hitting level 15, so Rango's going to be having a little pressure. Of course, a couple of baits coming out, as we've already known that Lord will be attempted by the members of Orange, but here comes more pressure mounted towards the top side here. Half unit being used there by Kolia, but Lord will still falter, as Orange Esports will be able to take it in the airway.
Yep, they have to clean up shop here. And now Orange Esports waiting for the Lord to come through. They need to synchronize the wave so they can maximize the damage they are putting with the Lord and powered minions.
So far, so good for the side of Orange Esports. All they have to do is to make precise movements here, as they've already actually sell some of all these wave quickers, and eventually when they all crashes at the same time, then they might just be able to actually find a way to force an engagement inside of Notorious Villain space.
Yep, let's see how they're going to play this one out here, because Notorious Villain, Swan is hiding in the backside, just looking to get over. He quickly uses the charge to hop. Oh, but they're getting chunked out quite terribly here. Silo tries to make a play, but Kolia quickly using, with quick fingers, Time Journey is going to be able to secure them in their area to go through, but Gringo is too far forward. He's going to be the next to fall. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but they break into the inhibitor. They want to go for more. Era calling in the Phantom Steed with the Phantom Stop to secure Kolia as the next casualty of war.
My goodness, with one sort of push, all the towers have already been demolished as they dive right in, making a little bit of mistake. Chan will be able to actually find that kill, looking for Silo as well for that double, but he will be actually moving all the way back. Mob dropping real low, but that will be Sien going that this fight has already been over.
Really clean. Really clean coming in from Orange Esports here. They take all the inhibitor turrets. Next Lord is going to be for the end, unless Notorious Villains make a mistake. So far, so good. A 2-for-3 trade-off.
Yeah, like, I'm liking what I see so far, although that seemed to be a little bit greedy for them to actually crush all towers at one go. They could either A, commit towards the full-fledged 5 versus 5, take down one tower, and just hopefully take down Envy and end the game, or take 2 towers and just walk off.
Well, Gotta put some faith in these boys because right now I definitely think that they should have gone for the full 5v5. Maybe look for 2 inhibitor turrets rather than 3. 3 is a bit greedy. 2 seems a lot more reasonable, and especially considering that it was a 5. If the 5v5 happened sooner, I think Orange Esports might have been able to close out the game.
Yeah, and I'm looking at them right now having so much of a gap, 15,000 in terms of goal difference. And mind you, some of these members of Envy has not even reached anywhere close to, of course, level 15 yet. They're still chasing over on towards 14, where 10 is starting to ask. Aaron's going to be caught out by most of these members of Envy. Flickers out of the way, but here comes Mondo from the back.
Oh, they're in trouble. Mom goes down, and now Orange Esports not in favor. Now finally joining into the fight. The Red City cuts them down one by one. Look at that damage. It's 3 casualties for now. Silo is trying to flicker on out of there. Mal has to compensate here. He gets one onto Swan, but he needs to clean up the shop. But they can't seem to find the targets as Envy quickly go back to their base and defend the crystal.
Good signs coming in from Envy, actually engaging the right flights as they manage to catch out 3 of these members pretty much cleanly, and only having Swan to actually pick things up was pretty much fair. Like, we can see from that standpoint where Orange Esports was not ready to commit, and they know that they have definitely stepped on somebody's toes right here.
Yeah, for sure. But, you know, Envy, that one fight has brought them back a significant gold lead, you know. Before that, they were like 10k behind. Now they're only 13k behind. 49 to 36. They're very close to getting to that 41k mark. 4 more k to go.
Well, of course, still a little bit of a chase for some of these guys, and well, I'm not sure if they still need these masses
Lord,
for kind of
resurrecting soon.
esports. They could sell it out for something else for sure. But we're already seeing a lot of endless attacks as well as the endless battle coming in for Aaron. So far, he will be able to actually sustain in most of these battles. But here comes the Lord will be up for grabs once again. But can Envy snatch this one away?
Maybe it's gonna be a tough fight, but you can definitely see that they want to. Oh, it looks like Orange going in for the engagement onto Kolia here. Kolia quickly pushes the backwards. They're walking up forward, but Grenko gets a great ultimate there, locking down 2 people. Luckily, Kolia has to use his ultimate to allow them to walk away. Aaron in the back line, he's so close to dying. Hallucinates, will pick him up. Luckily, he still had his ultimate up available, so he is able to dash forward.
Yeah, it's great that he had the seal the deal, but now they've gone on the reset and 4 members of Envy. They've already lost 2, but they still have Chen here, who has the retribution. No members from the side of Orange Esports has it so far, but they will still lose out that Lord as they force that sort of push. Now they are forced to pull back.
Gonna slowly rotate down towards the bottom side of the map now. Oh boy. Lord has been called out. This is it. This is a make it or break it. Notorious villains have hit the mark that they've been waiting to get, and it looks like even though they didn't take 2 casualties, they were able to trade 1 in return. Look at the items. You can see 41k. The main carries that they've been funneling the gold into are up and ready. The Holy Crystal, as well as the fleeting time coming in from for the Gushin so far. Hopefully that's going to be enough.
Yeah, hopefully that will be able to actually get them some advantages. But they were able to get this very same pot as well. And Chen trying her best to actually take out this Lord. But the rest of Orange Esports did not really fully committing. They will be able to actually find Valir. And Mom will be popped up for that mega kill. As we see, Hallucinates trying to actually take on towards Aaron. But he will still falter right here. But Envy, they're holding on strong. Taking on Grangle here. He still has immortality, but there's way too much of that wave. Orange Esports can actually seal the deal with a couple more blows, and Orange Esports takes game 1.
A really nice game coming in from Orange Esports. They built a composition that was solely focused on rotating and skirmishing as much as they possibly could, and it really put the hurt into Envy, whose composition was extremely weak, especially since their offlaners. They didn't have too many offlaners that could actually deal with that. Like Gushin had to go down to bot side just to let the marksman get that funnel goal.
Yeah, and there was dives upon dives upon dives that rendered the Gushin to be scaling a little bit later, and of course there's not enough backup to even help him even when he's being left out all in the open. And eventually they managed to secure a couple of those advantages in the early game, which snowballed them towards those unkillable Titans that we just witnessed just now. And wow, who knows, this might just be the meta to actually counter all these flame shots, which proves to be pretty pesky.
Well, honestly, I would like to see how that particular composition fares against a real flame shot composition, because we can definitely see that, you know, the Envy's draft was definitely a bit bizarre overall, and that got punished significantly in OE. You just cannot do that against them.
Yeah, of course. We expect a little bit more changes coming in from our game number 2, but let's talk about game number 1 as we hit in towards the stats of this matchup itself, where we saw, of course, Aaron so far has been playing phenomenally well along with Mel here, who's got extreme funnels, which every single item was completed for his Ranger.
Yeah, when you're already at 53k overall, it's just like everybody is stacked and ready to go. But, you know, on the side of Envy, you can definitely tell by the items, the Anti-Duress, the Athena's Shield, they were trying to protect themselves as much as they can from the oppression that Sicilian was willing to bring. And yeah, it did chunk them out. However, there was a lot of setup from Grengo as well as Silo to allow, you know, Aaron to secure the kills after the chunks from Mal.
That's right. And then right now, if we look into some of the damage being dealt here, we see Chen, of course, dishing out quite a lot of damage in all those fights, but it was pretty close against Mal, where it's just technically 1,000 of a difference in terms of damage, but, you know, in terms of composition, Mal was way more protected in all these fights, and he could just easily poke everyone off with those Death Sonatas and just go rondo in and out of those fights.
Yeah. This is pretty. I mean, this is exciting to see, because now Orange is climbing up the ranking. Will be climbing up the rankings with this win. If they can secure one more and 2-0 NV, that's gonna be a very interesting week then.
Yeah, of course. This is definitely going to get even more interesting as it goes. But before that, let's head over to the highlights and speak of this sort of game, which have just concluded. We saw that 1v1 going on from the bottom side, where eventually, of course, Grengo already got that sort of first blood, but the punishment continues with Sen. The moment he reaches down below, Silo was like, okay, I'm gonna scoop you right back.
Yeah, and that's just super unlucky, you know. And this happens time and time again, where, you know, you see Silo just wait until the Wakes comes in, gets a flick onto somebody, and just punishes them continuously if Kolia is not ready with that time journey.
Yeah, like, look, this is where, of course, there was a couple of hiccups in between, and we actually managed this well enough up to the point where, you know, a full sort of a committed dive eventually resulted in 4 deaths for the side of NV. And of course, this was the early work that we saw, which it resulted in all the turrets being wiped away.
Yep, and you know, I still do think it's a little greedy that they went for like all the inhibitor turrets, because like at this point here, right here, like I think they could have committed to a full fight. They've already taken out 2 members. The last 2 aren't too difficult to kill as well. They're the squishiest ones. They are the squishiest ones. So maybe look to kind of, you know, secure the rest of the kills and end the game.
Oh yes, indeed. And of course, after that sort of push, they got themselves all caught up over the top lane, where, of course, Mom was the first one to fall, followed by Aaron, with a lot of all these sort of chase coming from Envy's side. And Mal, of course, he tried to trade back, but he knew that it was too little too late. But when this second Lord came right in, well, over a span of 15 minutes, I think that it's going to be really hard for them. But there was a little bit sign of hesitation coming from OE, because there was a big dive coming from Hallucinates just to assassinate 2 of these members coming from Orange Esports.
Yeah, I think even before this, there was a fight that Notorious Villains actually won, so I definitely understand where the hesitation comes from. It's like, oh shoot, they're actually scaling up, they actually do damage, we gotta be a little bit more careful when we start to engage a team like NV.
That's right, and of course, now that we've already got witnessed this sort of first point going over the side of Orange, so far it looking to be pretty much well and solid. They can definitely keep up with this draft, but there will definitely be a little bit of that sort of planning phase for them to actually see what works better for this, because Orange Esports, although they have this sort of win, a couple of points, they didn't look exactly all too clean, so maybe if they do sharpen things up, they might walk away with that 2-0.
Potentially, but I can't wait to see when that comes by. Is Envy just gonna take it like that? I don't think so. I think this might be it could be a 3-game series potentially. That's what I'm kind of like, you know, foreshadowing.
Yeah, I feel like, of course, there's still a lot more fight coming in from the side of Notorious Villains. So far, of course, they got caught off guard with this sort of draft pick. But of course, they will be bouncing back pretty much stronger. But for those of you guys who have been waiting for something special, we're going to give you guys something special indeed. Right down below, there will be more codes to come. Of course, type right in FUTED. Well, of course, I fumbled it, but make sure, of course, you get all these sort of codes right to redeem whatever is in store for you.
Yep, Read is good. Remember, more codes to come. Just stick around. Kind of enjoy. If you like our casting, you can check us out at our pages at ContraCast and at The Fatal 5 Way. You can find us on Facebook if necessary, or Instagram, because lots of interesting things happening on in this guy's life.
I mean, there's a lot more things pretty interesting in the Mobile Legends world as well. Make sure you actually follow every single one of the socials for Mobile Legends Bang Bang. So, of course, after we redeem this redemption code, later on we'll be heading off to our second game of the series. Of course, are you excited for that?
I really am. Well, we're going to go on a short break, and when we come back, it's going to be more Mobile Legends action between these two teams. Can't wait to see it one more time. Remember, you are watching the MPL Season 5 MYSG, sponsored by our official digital telco, Yudu, and brought to you by EGG Network as well as Moonton. We'll catch you back right after this break.
You have slain an enemy. Double kill.
Where's my mommy and daddy?
Killing spree. Your team destroyed a turret.
Where's my mommy and daddy?
Shut down. Unstoppable. Double kill. Triple kill.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Uranus has awakened.
Team destroyed a legendary. Launch attack. An enemy has been slain. Launch attack. Legendary. Legendary. Double kill. You have slain an enemy. Double kill. Legendary. Double kill.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Fighting Jimmy! Let the weak melt away!
Legendary. Double kill. Legendary. Double kill. Triple kill. You have slain an enemy. Ally has been double kill. Triple kill. Maniac. An enemy has been slain. Your team destroyed a turret. Legendary attack. Double kill.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
I love the smell of good powder in the morning. shot, one kill.
And welcome back to the Mobile Legends Professional League Season 5. It's Malaysia and Singapore here. And of course, Contra alongside with Fatal 5 Way will be bringing you all the action throughout the rest of the day. And I hope your Sunday has been working really well for you. As of course, we've got all these matches upcoming, of course, brought to you by EG Network as well as Moonton. And of course, not forgetting our official digital telco partners, YouTube, for making all these happen. Of course, you can get so much of all these good stuff. Go log on to www.youtube.com.my and you will be able to check out all fully customizable mobile plans for yourself.
Not to mention that they actually bothered delivering your SIM straight to you, so you don't have to go through that awkward conversation at the store being like, can I get a SIM? And then I have to do that.
Yeah, it was like, oh, you're like wondering, okay, what's this plan all about? Like, you don't really have to go through all that lowdown. All you have to do is download that app, of course, plan your way out however you please. You want more SMS? You're a little bit more old school. You want to go for that? Go ahead. If you want all your free calls, and so yeah, you can definitely adjust the plan to your liking.
Speaking about adjusting the plan, I would want to see Orange Esports go against Envy, because Envy kind of needs to adjust their draft against Orange, because I feel like Orange is getting away with too much. They're going for like different picks. They got the Leomord this time. They got the Terizla. It worked out amazingly, and they really punished their draft, especially the offlane side against Envy. Hopefully they adapt. Let's go straight into the draft, speaking of which.
And of course, we've already seen one victory for the side of Orange Esports, and Envy will be going in for a crystal clear decision to take out that Link.
Yeah, I think, most people don't want to deal with Link overall now, falling into that hyper carry position, as well as just taking out your squishy flame shot supports. Don't want to deal with that answer at all. Orange Esports following up with a Selena seems very standard.
Yeah, and I think that, of course, this was a relatively safe way of going about things. But, it was so hard to target ban anybody from Orange Esports, judging for the fact that that sort of draft was a little bit for too many.
Yeah.
And of course, now they're only left with one ban.
Your team is
out something
banning.
that's a little bit safer to say, which will be the Grok. So one more ban for the side of Orange Esports. They can actually take out the Diggy, but when Envy took that first Diggy pick, it definitely didn't really went all too well in favor.
Yeah, and see, that's where the big question mark comes with Orange Esports. Like, what are they afraid of? It looks like they don't want to deal with Farsa comps at all. So Diggy is going to be the first pick for Notorious Villains, but I don't think Orange Esports really care too much considering what the draft was previously. My guess is that they want to get a jawhead early. They don't have Selena to actually pick up. They could go for a Valir. However, I do think Valir is kind of situational. Let's see what Orange Esports thinks.
Well, they can definitely go in for that once again, and I'm thinking about maybe a jaw hit to actually be locked into this early phase. It will be definitely monumental for them to actually take off. So you're going to be locking in Sicilian as their first pick. Again, like last game, it was pretty much a similar draft coming in for the side of Orange Esports.
Yeah, and now I think Notorious Villains, if they really wanted to, they could go for a Harley just to shut down that Sicilian. That is one answer that we did see yesterday. Very apparent, very effective, but we're going to have to wait and see.
Of course, it requires a really quick hands for them to execute anybody right there, but they're going in for the Crow as well as the Granger.
Your
of course,
team
Orange
is
Esports
picking.
have their main marksman all taken off, so they really got to lock the marksman in right now, or risk having that marksman banned away. Well, they got carry, and I'm not sure if they really want 1-1, but there's still the Claude as well, which I'm honestly not too sure whether it's really good for the scenario.
Hard to say. I think Claude has in recent times has been a little bit better, only because like carry the true damage is great and all. However, she can't like blow up an entire backline with a blazing duet. So it kind of goes down to preference between a lot of these teams. So they're gonna go for a carry. Looks like they want to drag out these fights a little bit more. Notorious Villains, they're probably going to ban out another type of support, maybe even a Valir, so they can actually look to hard engage with the Cho, potentially.
Yeah, I think that that's definitely the most most optimal option that they do have on the table. But now that we're here in the second phase, I'm not sure, like, the Notorious is finding it pretty hard to ban against Orange Esports way up to the very last second.
Your
But,
team
you know,
is banning.
we've already had the compensation bubble there, and always taken off the table.
No, Orange Esports on the other hand are going to look at Diggy Granger and show and see, okay, maybe offlane is going to be a little bit more tough. They could decide to ban out the Uranus or pick the Uranus for themselves. However, they can really just straight up limit the option. They can ban out the Thamos, pick the Uranus for themselves, or get rid of the Uranus, pick the Thamos. One or the other will be fine.
Yeah, I do really fancy.
Oh, Harris.
Your team is picking.
Pretty interesting choice, of course. If we do look into towards a little bit more traditional sort of options for Notorious villains, if they really want to go for those mages, Lunox honestly not too bad. We've also got Lilia, which is still pretty alright, but you know, whatever works for Orange Esports will come right back into play. But well, this is stealing away that Gushing away from NV.
It's a very confident move coming in from Orange Esports because they're saying like, oh, you want to hyper carry that Granger? Sure, we're going to have one guy who's going to one-shot him if you don't protect him well enough. So it's kind of one of those situations whereby they're confident in saying that no matter what, I will find that sword spike and I will look to kill you.
Yeah.
Notorious villains, on the other hand, very easy reply. I don't agree with the Esmeralda as much as I would like to, but I do agree with Kufra that bouncing ball will be able to help them hard engage onto Orange Esports, whilst if he's able to pull it off, block the angles for Gushing to go in with the sword spike.
Yeah, and I do think it's not too bad, especially when you have kind of like a little bit of that squishy composition going on for the side of Envy, but Aurora looks to be somewhat of a perfect pick for this sort of a dire situation where, you know, Esmeralda dives right in. Okay, let's lock her down. Let's slow all of them and slowly all the way back and protect the carry in a certain way, but I got bamboozled. They're coming in with a Sylvana.
Why? Why Sylvana?
Don't cry right just yet. I mean, Orange Esports really wants to challenge the meta. So far, they've been actually taking some really great approaches in towards some of these battles. But let's see whether or not can they go in with a clean 2-0 sweep against the first villains. But Envy right now revamped a little bit of that composition here and hoping to actually even the trades against Orange.
Yeah. I could be wrong about this draft here. I honestly could be, and I'm willing to, you know, keep my mind open to see how Orange is going to play this out. However, I do think the Aurora might have been a little bit better than the Sylvana because, again, wave clear is important. Sylvana doesn't exactly clear waves good until she has her first item. She's very mana dependent as well, so she will either need maybe a blue buff or at the very least
to Mobile
Legends,
Sentinel,
just to kind of sustain as they are.
5 seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield.
I'll definitely say that will be pretty much the case.
All
but
troops
we'll hit
deployed
towards the battlefield to see how this one will pan out. A couple of bombs being set there by Kolia, making sure that entry point will be checked, just in case if the Jawhead walks right in towards the trap.
Yeah, looks like Jawhead, again, is going to be playing in that off-lane position. He's going to help with the first... He is going to help with the first leash of the red buff, while, you know, Orange Esports, Gushing and Sylvana. Once again, I'm pretty sure Gushing is the one who's going to be able to take that buff away, while Sylvana will be taking that reverse sentinel. So, pretty even so far.
Yeah, pretty much a passive start, no invades whatsoever coming in from any sort of players, but it seems to me that Orange Esports might just actually change that one up, securing that sort of a river trap over on the hands of Silo to make sure that he will stay ahead of the game.
Yeah, he needs to hit that level 2, and then we'll see how it goes. It looks like, as of now, Mal is just being funneled, no worries whatsoever. Orange Esports looking to dive this bot side, and they actually get the initial hit there. The immobilize coming out to Kolia. Silo to get the first blood. They have successfully dove free level 4. Very nicely done. Silo landing that stun was so critical.
That was so clean. Look at how mobile they are. The moment that wave just hits that turret wave, they instantaneously dove right through and got that solid 2-kill lead.
Oh, well done. Well done to Orange Esports for now, but Notorious Villains have to start fighting through the pain right now. They're going to be a little bit behind for their level 4s, which is going to be A-okay because there's no objective to contest on the map just yet.
Yeah, of course, the revision being used there to secure that River Crab as a little bit of that goal extension going in for the side of Orange Esports. A couple books over onto its end as well. He should have no problem whatsoever to hold the mid lane. But now, Cole is going to be joining in the party once again over the bottom side to deal with the situation where it's going to be pretty much a neutral standoff between the two of them at the top side where, you know, Esmeralda doesn't really want to go way too up close and personal against that jaw hit.
Yeah, and looking at Envy, they're playing a very passive game until they hit their level 4s, especially, you know, Siren as well as Folia. Those are very powerful ultimates that they need to hit.
Now we're, of course, looking at a little bit of that disparity of goal. 1,300 in difference so far, but Grango's going to be having no problems to flip somebody off the charts, and, you know, Kufra not really worth committing onto. And both sides giving enough respective groups towards each other. Now when we're looking into its shots, we're saying there's only one in the favor of Notorious Villains, while there's two over on towards Orange Esports. So it's gonna get pretty much interesting later on.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. I know that Aaron wants to have that retribution to help secure that, and like situations like this, like they don't even stand a chance. Oh, Jen might be in a lot of trouble here as Folia trying to bail them out with a time journey in the back line. Sian is trying to go and get on top of CeeLo, but it's not going to be enough. They don't have enough damage, even with the Esmeralda coming into the back line. She needs an item before she's even relevant.
Yeah, we're looking for another dive as we see Aaron secures that instant double kill as the sword fights and incandescence will be able to take them all down.
Oh, that was clean coming in from Aaron. Really well played coming in from Orange Esports. They are showing their dominance and asserting it onto Envy right now as they take that bottom tier 1.
Now, heading towards the mid lane here, we're looking at another potential raid over on the tower, and all three of them are just so quick to react, and I'm not too sure the first villains, they really need to make sure that something happens before they just snowball off the chart.
They have to slowly pull back for now. So far, Aaron is doing a phenomenal job with the mystery shop as well. He is getting his items on time, despite having to share it with Mal. They are going for a 3-mask setup in comparison to NV, who's going for a 5-mask setup overall.
Now, of course, we're going to see him, of course, scale out control already hitting level 7, as well as Mal here with level 8. Members of the side of the first business are playing the catch-up game, but of course they're just holding on to what they can actually do. Level 8 already for the side of Hallucinate, so that's good news for them, but hasn't really seen all too much of an action going on for the side of the Esmeralda.
Yep, and now they're going to have to play this slow. Envy looking to be a little bit more aggressive, checking out the timers, making sure that the buffs are up on the enemy side. However, they can't really engage when they are really under-leveled here, especially the supports.
Yeah, we're looking
Turtle
at
resurrecting soon.
like to actually break out eventually, but we're of course having a turtle being spawned over the top side, so maybe a little attention will be fixated towards the other end, but Aaron will be able to actually snatch another buff away from NV, starving them pretty much as we see that goal is extended to 3k, and time journey just at the right moment, Bullet gets 1 kill, but in the mid lane, we're looking at another sort of a pickoff right there, so that's 2 kills for NV.
Yep. Now they're going to have to play this very, very carefully here, because if they lose too much, that could mean another turtle is going over into the favor of Orange Esports here. So Envy, they're a little slow to get onto the turtle. They didn't go there straight away because they had to deal with bottom, but that's going to mean that Orange Esports has some time to actually respond and set up shop.
Yeah, so far so good for Orange Esports. They are still having a little bit of that advantage. Oh, Power's Rage over on side of Tom, but instantaneously gets 25 now. Whoa! To take him down, but it won't be. Flicker coming in from the side of Hallucinates to actually steer the danger away. Woo! That was way too close.
Yeah, that was looking really, really terrible there, especially for Orange Esports. And it's not over yet as Hallucinates continues to move forward. However, Aaron, with the full combo, not hitting on the right targets that, oh boy, Hallucinates coming in with the Star Move Falls, doesn't connect so far, but it's going to keep forcing Aaron to actually pull back.
Yeah, and it seems like they did lose the sort of turtle in the process as well. Now that they do have one man over on top side here, they're just going to be resetting for now. But, well, I really do admire how Notorious Villains actually approach those sort of fights. They re-engage at that right moment, but, you know, they'll spread far too wide to actually do anything at all.
Yep, and now again, look at the tower differentials. Orange just tactically taking away all the tier 1s. They want to start striking down the tier 2s now, tier 2s next before they get the Lord. They need to find a way to break a tier 2 just so that Lord can go straight for that inhibitor turret.
That's right. And then now, of course, there's going to be a little bit more of those big items coming out for the Aaron to actually pop somebody up. Oh, and goes back in time as the Conjurer will be popped out. Sen will be able to connect the winner. But the dive coming in from Aaron will be able to secure yet another double for Orange Esports.
Wow, I definitely thought that Notorious Villains had a great chance of turning this around. Silo missed the Divine Justice as well, but that's not it. Orange Esports won a little too far, using the bouncing ball as well, just to get a little bit of mobility to get across into the safety of that inhibitor turret. However, they've cut both sides down. They're a member down, and I think OE here want to get a little greedy and take away the final tier 2.
Yeah, of course, that tier 2 tower now has been crushed in the open now for Orange Esports. They can walk so freely over on the bottom side of the map, and just look at Aaron. He could just slowly take waves upon waves, but it might just be a big surprise for him coming up pretty shortly.
He's got to be careful, because if he sticks his nose out too
Turtle
far,
resurrecting soon.
the rest of Envy will collapse on them. But I think he just has to wait a little bit more. He's going to clear the wave here. And yes, the rest of the team is nearby, so he has a safe way to escape.
Yeah, of course, great backup coming from the rest of Orange, but that will be one more free turtle for Orange Esports right here. And I mean, look at him go. If they keep going at this rate, eventually they will have to actually force the air to actually tip out from the side of the Notorious Villains, and they'll eventually choke out.
Yeah, again, just starving out your opponents with your lead, a great way of actually playing the game, especially since that Lord isn't up. Might as well just deprive them of the nutrition.
And speaking of that, that's going to be a lot of nutrition for Aaron, as concentrated energy has already been purchased. So that's definitely going to be him having a little bit more of an easy time going in and out.
Yeah, the extra spell vamp gives him some great sustain, especially with the amount of damage he's chucking out. Anyway, so he goes in, takes some damage, pulls back those Shadow Blade Slaughter, and oh, look, I'm already back in full life. Gringo on the other side might be in trouble. Swan quickly flickering over on top of him, securing this kill with a bouncing ball. Gringo has no other options.
Yeah, I mean, he did try to flicker away, but that will be the Wayward Dragon over on the side of side as well. That's going to be 2 kills in the back for the side of the Notorious Villains being secured, and of course, that will be the kill going into the side of Kufra. Hallucinates still going in for a chase, as well as we see Eric going in for a dive, but they are looking for a chance. But instead, it will be the Esmeralda to fall. 2 kills going in the favor of the side of Orange Esports, and make that 3 as we see Swan being dropped out.
What a great fight. Notorious Villains, they see an opportunity to really punish Orange. They get the punish, but Notorious Villains wasn't done with them just yet. Without the safety of their turrets, they had such a long way to get to those inhibitors to protect them that they ended up dying along the way. Kolia was going to go no matter what. However, Hallucinates and Swan, ooh, that was a rundown.
Yeah, they just have to run it all the way in. And now that we're looking at Aaron here, he's just having a really fun time. Like, he knows
Lord
that
resurrecting soon.
it's going to be a lot of sort of damage to even take him all the way down, and anything happens, he can just easily just dive across walls and just get back in towards safety. Now, it's going to be the Lord up for grabs, but I'm not sure whether or not can the Notorious Villains come anywhere close.
Oh, Aaron! Oh my goodness, Aaron actually still in the thick of things. He's in a lot of trouble. He pulls back the Shadow Blade Slaughter, but Kolia, with his ultimate, is able to protect them. Zen, on the other hand, Mal needs to 1v3 this situation, but Chet isn't able to get the damage onto the right target, and Mal has a triple kill. They are cleanly winning this fight. Oh my goodness, they're going to get Lord with no contestation now.
Although Aaron did make the first move and dropped out, eventually now stepped up in towards that team fight, and there's going to be only Swan to actually look after Lord will fall. And out. He's just making his way out with bouncing ball. Now still going in for a chase. Forces the flicker away from that member of Notorious Village.
With the extra buff. Oh, wait, buff did time out, so he's going to get another red buff here. Man, the changes to the buffs have made hyper carrying so much easier. You don't need the weakness finder anymore. Getting Electro Flash is a viable option inclusive of the red buff. You just run people down.
Yeah, just look at him clear all these camps with so much ease. Like, you know, he's already late. He can easily escort this sword all the way towards the mid side and perhaps force this engage upon Notorious Village. But one looks pretty much ready for the dive, and he's looking to actually knock him up in the air. Wobble combo as Esmeralda will be able to secure the kill over on the side of Bob, and they will eventually take that Lord out. But there's still Mal to actually deal with. Sen tries to actually push them all the way back. Good job to the first villains for keeping that tower intact.
Yep, they still have an opportunity here. Greggo was able to get the initial ejector, but the rest of the team is right on top of them. But now he's still cutting them down one by one. They trade well. Immortality going to bring it back on. Greggo again gets another ejector. Now, no one can get on top of him. It's a 4-for-2 trade. They take away the inhibitor, but so far, it's not looking good. A great kick from Siren, securing the kill. Notorious Villains find their victory in this team fight.
And now the Esmeralda managed to score a Maniac in that team fight itself. What on earth? I think that Orange Esports, of course, think that they were way too confident to take on that fight. Eventually, they got punished so hard.
Yeah, Siren was able to find some great kicks so far, and even though Greggo did try his very best to, displace the members of NV with the ejector, not once, but twice, Mal can only hit one target at a time.
Yeah, like we saw some displacements going out, but look at how well they backed things up, especially you saw Kolia pop the time journey perfectly in that sort of team fight, and eventually every single one of them committed alongside with Swan for negating any sort of that amounting pressure, especially when Aaron crashes right in.
Yeah, and you can see, looking back, I can't wait to see where the items are, because the NV are hitting that 40k mark, what's that 41k mark. When they do, their cores are pretty much full build at that point. They should have all their items, all their core items is what I was trying to get at. While Orange Esports, they have already surpassed that. They're just getting the situational items. Thunderbell being bought by Mal is going to increase her damage significantly. Aaron also, I'm pretty sure that was a Winter Truncheon from him.
Yeah.
So he's going to go in and out without getting punished.
That's right, for its more defensive items to make sure that they remain a little bit more sustainable, but it's all boiling down on how NV does this execution. So far, the first fight was pretty much perfect. They defended so well, they removed that lure, but eventually with Mel just knocking on the door, they just managed to take one turret in that sort of exchange. And now that things are actually closing up, Kid will be up to the front lines, looking to actually kick Silo all the way to the back, but he does have the immortality, so he will come back to play. And oh my, here comes Aaron, though. He gets baited in, and this will be Esmeralda going in for the godlight. Look at that shield going in for Hallucinate, as they will be able to actually find 3 members off the side of Orange Esports as they throw the lead.
Woof. What a game this has been. What a game! I'm just shocked that, NV is coming back from this. They're waiting for a moment. They get another one! Oh my goodness! They're going to be able to get this inhibitor turret as well, and nothing can stop them. Mal is sitting on top of the board. He's going to pick up Chen. He quickly flickers on out of it, but Chen is coming right in the back. Gets the way of the dragon. Immortality ain't going to save him. But Mal, 1v3! He's taking it! He's doing it! He's got the first one! A double kill for Mal!
What a play coming from Mel! He actually bought enough time, and now they might actually have enough time to be bought to make sure the Lord is being secured. Oh my, we gotta get that on the replays right after this, but now Orange Esports will have this one open up, and there's no way that Kolia will get anywhere close.
That should not be allowed. Oh my goodness, Orange gonna try and secure this Luminous Lord. They get it, and now they're gonna be knocking on the doors of NV. I don't think they can take another one. They need to get rid of Mal. Mal has to go.
Yeah, he really has to go. Let's look at the instant replay. Look at it. He instantly deletes the Granger when there's a blink of an eye. And mind you, Sin going away with the Whale Dragon, he hops right over the wall and he hops right back to actually trade against Sin. That's a double kill right there. And mind you, it was a 1 versus 4.
Oh, really, really good call coming in from Mal. He was like extremely confident. All he needed to worry about was Xian after he had basically one shot. Jan there. Oh my goodness. This game is not going well for either side. Orange Esports confident that they could win this match. Golden
He
Staff.
didn't have a golden staff at first.
I mean, he had a Thunder Belt, so I can definitely understand the initial burst.
Yeah, and now, of course, there's going to be a little bit more of that commotion over on towards the mid side as we like to see another fight break out, but Orange Esports now is forced to make a move, and anyone who actually makes a mistake out of this might actually get punished. But port number 2, not really all too effective, but of course, the First Villains will continue on to defend this one with their lives.
Yeah, they probably get some auto attacks in there. Oh, but it looks like Swan tries to go for the invade here. For the engage. Aaron as well, though. Winter Tundra is down, but getting quick off Chen. Oh, he got so close. He secures the kill onto Kolya, but now they're trying to end the game. Grengo is running right into the middle of the map here. They can't really do too much. Can they get rid of Mal? That was their biggest issue, and Mal is going insane with the help of Cecilia on his back. Grengo, once again, the smart missiles. He's going to be able to hold on to it. His horse's mom isn't done just yet. Mal, stop it. These guys have families.
Oh my goodness, look at Mel just treating them like toys, tossing them around, and now all the waves are still over on the doors of Notorious Villains. They're defending it with their lives as we see Sien going into the way of Dragon, catching all the wall. Oh! They finally take down Mel, and now all of them from Orange Esports will be wiped away. Another opportunity for Notorious Villains to come right back in the game.
Okay, wait. Let's look at the death timers here. So Mom as well as Mal have the longest ones. They have to deal with Aaron as well as Silo. They have some decent wave clear, so they can't end the game just yet, but they might be able to just break in towards that inhibitor turret. This game just got way more exciting.
Oh my goodness me. 18 minutes of play, and now NV 20-20. Like, we saw them, they had that deficit, but that was definitely them just showing off that they cannot be bullied under their own base, and they defended it way too perfectly, and I'm having this feeling that Orange Esports are losing the plot already.
Yeah, and again, Orange Esports, even though they scale really, really well, it's so tough for Aaron to one-shot his targets now. And because Orange can have sort of squandered that lead with 2 bad fights, Notorious Villains are in the wakes to win this game. However, Orange Esports, the only advantage they have, all the fights about to start. Aaron is in trouble. He's already been chucked out, but he has to take his back. Wait for the opportunity to come back in. Kolya popping out with the ultimate as well. Aaron using the Tyrant's Rage is not going to be enough, and CeeLo coming in with the Divine Justice, walks it down on them, but Cecilia is just too big to help, and Mao is untouched.
And we're looking at only one member down for the side of Orange Esports. How can Chen save the entire team in this sort of situation? There is the wave coming in, and they gotta make it quick. Kolya actually fending it off. Kolya dropping really low, but he's walking in towards the faces of his enemies. Silo now actually have to take down Zen. But oh, Jen, she's still doing it, and she will be able to take one down. But this will be the end of it all. Orange Esports takes 2 games back to back.
Holy cow, I did not expect that game to be as close as it was with the considerable lead that Orange had. That was a bit mind-blowing, I'm not gonna lie. Woo, boy!
I mean, it just erupted, and we've got our brains blown all over the nest. Like, we picked it all the way back up, but really, huge props to the Notorious Villains, because they definitely pulled up what a solid defense actually meant. But of course, the last fight right there, inside of that river, they thought that if they caught on towards that Gushin, that will be over for the side of Orange Esports, but there's still that big threat. Now was all over the place. He had a couple of free hits, but Esmeralda was chasing on, hoping to actually take out that Gushin. Yes, they did, but the rest of the members were still pretty much healthy and alive, and they just trample all over the place of all these other members, which only leaves Chen behind. But she really did her best to actually hold on so long.
Yeah, and I think Sicilian with the two-man with his second ability getting a two-man stun was that's really what hurt the game. Kolya was a little late on that ultimate as well. The damage had already been done. They didn't have enough time to reposition. Had he preemptively done it, I think it would have been a little bit, but that is so minuscule compared to how big of a lead Orange had at the very beginning. Oh my goodness. Let's look at the stats right now. I have to know what exactly these guys did right. And you can definitely see with the Genius Wand coming in from Esmeralda that put a lot of damage, especially with its extra magic penetration. It nearly, I can argue that Mal pretty much got one shot by Hallucinates when they were right at the core, if I remember correctly.
Yes, indeed. And we saw a couple of those sort of kills where Hallucinates managed to actually find that Maniac in the midst of all the chaos, which, of course, if you look at the scores, they kind of match up in terms of, the amount of kills that they've managed to get. But really, it was a team effort coming in from the rest of Orange Esports, especially they have the early game going so well for them.
Yeah. Oh, this has been one heck of a game. Chen was able to get 74% of total, 7k worth of structural damage overall, with 12k from the side of Mal, but Mal's damage is absolutely ridiculous.
Way too ridiculous, for sure. But, the MVP, of course, may go to Mal, but it was also a lot of great setup coming from the members such as Mom as well as Grango, because Grango was all over the place. So you make sure that he's the one to open every single fight. But Swan, you gotta give it to Swan as well for the side of Envy, because he's got some really, really clutch Tyrant's Rage and bouncing balls to make sure that they keep everyone pretty much safe.
Let's go over to the highlights and re-experience this game one more time, because so much has happened there. Because in the beginning of this game, Orange Esports was absolutely dominating, getting very early dives, like you can see here. This wasn't the first time they went for the dive. They completely controlled Envy out of the game. 7 minutes in, and they're already forcing them. They're losing turrets. You can see the goal differential, 4k at 7 minutes. It becomes way bigger in a little while.
Yeah, and Aaron every time goes right in for a couple of the double kills. How is he able to actually do this so many times? This is the only couple of times that he actually got punished. Of course, having Kolya to actually back him up. But look at Mel, though. Mel, he was in the right position at the right time. Of course, the ejector pushing him a little bit forward to actually secure that triple kill right down below.
Oh, this game. Oh, this was the fight of a lifetime. Envy really clutched this one out, because you can see Rengo, he's taking quite a bit of damage, but nobody can really deal with Hallucinates and the amount of shield he is getting. Even when Mal is trying, she's actively trying to avoid getting some autos. Once in a while, you see a couple of autos touch Hallucinate, and then he realizes, okay, that's too much shield. I'm going to start cutting out the rest of your members.
Yeah, how she just actually slides everyone down way so quickly. But of course, later on, there was a little bit more focus on towards that Esmeralda, a couple of all these fights. Of course, Silo got to push all the way back. Of course, this was a couple of mistakes being shown there from Orange Esports, where Aaron thought, okay, it's safe to dive, but he just walked in towards the trap of 4 members of Notorious Villains, so prepared to take him on.
Yeah, just a great game overall. These final few fights. And you're looking at the kill score, it's this game is about that. No, it's not even. This one B3. Look at the micro plays, because Mal, he hops over the wall. However, that Phantom Step doesn't get him out of the time reversal, and he waits for the time reversal of the timeout to pull him back across the wall, just so it wastes Kolya's time to walk around again, and he's just actively dodging Hallucinates.
Yeah, of course, that was way too smooth of him. Look at Aaron, he went in for the chase, managed to take Kolya down, and eventually, of course, got that Wave Dragon right there, and a little bit of a push and pull, and eventually, Notorious Villains find a way to actually stall are looking to actually shut down Mal. Look at how much of a dive Hallucinates commit in towards that. He had that sort of immortality. He know that he can come right back up, but Sian was still having so much of that effort. They pushed over on the back, which, took quite some time for the side of Orange Esports, where they kind of overextended for a little bit more. And of course, this is where that golden wave of the dragon finally sets it perfectly. for Esmeralda to get that legendary kill.
Yeah, Siren was so close to death there. And the final fight, oh, this was so beautiful. Like, everybody was really going ham, but just keep your eyes on where Kolia is, because he tried his very best to kind of save Siren as well as Swan. However, both of them just died over because nobody could get on top of the main issue, which was Mal here, thanks to Mom.
Yeah, of course, this was, of course, the last attempt of defense coming in from Kolia. Maybe if he stick towards the corner of Chen, he might just have a little bit more breathing space, but it was all over and done with the moment that there was a 1v3 situation going on. And of course, Orange Esports finds 3 points in this series. So,
Good series.
I really love what I saw so far. We were proven wrong. Predictions have been grown off the table, but in the really pleasant way, of course. Orange Esports of Malaysia now moves up the rankings with this really big win. Now, speaking of which, of course, we got more codes coming up really soon, which will be popping up right down below. Make sure to snack them up real quick. But, of course, this game so far, wow, I can't even pick one person that is, like, you know, deserving of all the MVP. Like, if I were to give a separate award, of course, we see Mal doing a whole lot in this game.
Now, like,
yeah. But it really, I really love how Silo played out both of these games.
Yeah, true. I do think, you know, Sylvana was kind of weird. It was definitely kind of weird when it was first picked up, but you could definitely see, like, you know, the safety of, like, throwing out the first ability where it actually gets the stun, really kind of sets up for the rest of the team to follow up with it. So having that distance definitely helps, but also the sustainability once if you commit with the what's it called? Divine Justice. Divine Justice comes in, locks multiple members down, and then just it's so easy for Sicilian to just follow up.
That's right, of course. Well, now that we've already seen all these capabilities of Sicilian, I do think that there's more teams that might just be able to pick that up throughout the entirety of these matches to come. Speaking of which, the next match to come will be Team Bosskurr versus Axis Esports. So, you know, back then they were siblings, and now they seem to be a little bit of a distant brother. So let's see who will be the better brother to actually emerge to become victorious in this upcoming match.
Yep, it's going to be really exciting. Malaysia versus Malaysia. Don't worry and stay tuned. We're going to go on a short break, and when we come back, we're going to catch another exciting game here at the MPL-MY Season 5. And our sponsors, official sponsor, official digital telco Yudu, and brought to you by EGG Network as well as Munsun. We'll be right back.
One shot, one kill!
An ally has been legendary! Double kill! Triple kill! Mega kill! Double kill! Triple kill! Legendary! An ally has been slain. Your team destroyed a turret. Godlike!
Download for free. Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
You have slain an enemy! Double kill!
Where's my mommy and daddy?
Killing spree! Your team destroyed a turret!
Where's my mommy and daddy?
Shut down! Unstoppable! Double kill! Triple kill!
Download for free. Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Uranus has awakened.
There's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Till I get up. Time thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but the
for you to actually lurk upon your enemies to maybe start something off to engage and eventually come up with Athena shields and immortalities and so on and so forth. Make sure you keep everyone steady for your team.
Yep, let's look at the next featured player here. It's going to be Lacid, another iconic member coming in from Axis Esports. He's been here for a while, and he has been able to carry the games given the right amount of resources here. And he does prefer, on his carry build, to have a golden staff. And I think, that has been put into question many, many times. We saw in the previous games, golden staff was brought at the very end after you get the endless battle. Some people might even go, so arguably some people might even go corrosive scythe as their third item, which I find kind of interesting, but it kind of depends on the situation.
Yeah,
Emblem's going to be the killing spree.
Definitely, it's really how you really want to adapt inside the game. Sometimes you might even need an early immortality in some instances, so sometimes you can actually mix around on how you really want to play the game depending on what your team really needs at the moment.
Yeah, and not to mention, the Rose Gold Meteor has become a little bit more popular. It's cheaper to get, and it gives you a decent amount of shield, so yeah, it helps you with your sustainability overall.
Yeah, and of course that's really important, especially when you play such a squishy sort of hero such as carry. Of course, survivability will reward you eventually heading in towards those late games where you just shred people down, destroying all these sort of wheels at them. I'm not even sure, if it's called wheels anymore, but Even in those sort of previous games, look at how Mel actually played that one out so perfect.
Yeah, really phenomenal. Like, he was confident every time he took his 1v3s and 1v4s, he's like, yeah, they don't have CC. I just have to worry about this one guy who deals damage. As long as I can dodge him, I can take everybody else out. So, again, let's see that confidence coming in, especially since Team Bosskurr, they really, really need a win. But they're going up against Axis, and they're in the middle of the pack. Axis has looked arguably a little shaky. Even yesterday, they didn't exactly look too clean overall, but they have a lot of potential, and hopefully, Team Bosskurr haven't found their footing just yet if Axis wants to win.
Yeah, we're really looking where or not Axis Esports was still played. That's their signature pushing style, but I think that they're pretty much familiar with each other. So let's get the show underway as we'll head in towards our very first draft between Team Bosskurr versus Axis Esports. So Jawhead, very much a very prominent pick, but first ban potential, pretty much all right, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know. I personally don't feel like Jawhead is worthy of getting picked out. I would have preferred like a Farsa, things that kind of determine what a comp is. The Farsa, the Selena, maybe even a Valier, depending on what kind of a draft that they want to pull off. But they want to get rid of these hard picks and hard engagement side of the team. Bosskurr here, kind of interesting. Axis Esports on the other side, ban out the Clot specifically. That is a very specific ban here.
Yeah, and this means that they open up a lot of variety of all these
Your
core
team
picks that
is
we've
picking.
been looking forward to. So no link, which means that you have Valir, you have Diggy, you have so many things else up on the table, up to a Grok.
Grok,
so
your team
when
is
I
picking.
mentioned Grok, Logan says, "Hey, good idea. Let's lock that in."
Yeah, very consistent pick overall. Grok so far hasn't been showed out into the previous games. However, he hadn't been let through for the most part. Looks like a lot of teams, and especially Team Bosskurr, don't want to just jump onto the bandwagon of the flame shots just yet. They still need that consistency and the solidarity of the Grok. Axis, on the other hand, let's see if they're going to be locking Diggy here. No, don't tell me they're going to miss. Okay,
Farsa, carry.
They're like, okay, too
Your
many
team
picks.
is
We really
picking.
want to get one going on. Of course, they're like Farsa, Valir. I don't even know anymore. Cecilion. Like the list goes on. But they've ended up with that Farsa pick, which so far has really high win ratio. Of course, for very good reasons.
Your
Now
team
that they've
is
already got
picking.
Tamas as well as the Cho, they're definitely going to bring a little bit more of that fight headed towards their side. But now we also have another concern for the side of the Bosskurr, because there's going to be so much of that long range attempt. But as it's thinking, maybe I should go back to my signature Lancelot.
Yeah, and that's why I was about to bring that up, because Axis, when you lock in the Farsa, you're kind of like, okay, you have to build a composition, even though you are hard funneling into
Uranus.
Your team
carry.
is banning.
Farsa is still a very core component that needs a little bit of gold to kind of get the ball rolling later on. So if they decide to go for something like Lancelot, then the gold distribution suddenly becomes very disrupted here.
Yeah, I certainly agree with that. Of course, they really got to plan how they want to do their investments in that sort of sense. And, well, we're seeing another Uranus being brought to life while we're heading towards phase 2 advance as Team Bosskurr right here. Trying to actually decide, should they go for the Valir ban or something else, or they just leave it out in the open? Yep.
Your team
Shouldn't
is
pick there.
banning.
Yeah, I mean, they have to get rid of the Valier. It's like the like a very brain dead hero that tells you, oh, just don't let them get onto Farsa and win the game, and he's just gonna give him a thumbs up. It's like, okay, I can do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, substitute for a Valir. What's it gonna be then?
I mean, Diggy is still on the table. Like, I'm noticing nobody really wants to take it just yet. I kind of feel like I want Axis to take it away. However, they do have first pick, so therefore they don't even care.
Your
Get rid
team
of
is
Granger,
picking.
lock in the Diggy, and you've got a solid Farsa comp so far.
Yeah, and now that a little bit already banned off that Granger, there's not really much of that sort of shred to actually peel off the likes of Uranus. Of course, they've already got Tamas for that sort of situation already, but I think they need something that really, really packs a punch. Well, they're still taking their sweet time right here, and they're going to go for
Selena.
Maybe.
Your team is
I mean, if they
picking.
wanted to pick, if they wanted to pick the Selena, why didn't they ban out the Diggy and then go for it? Because honestly, Granger wouldn't have made a difference either way there. But I guess they are confident that Team Bosskurr can actually pull this one off.
Wan Wan.
Ooh, Wan Wan and Chung. Oh, we haven't
Your
seen Chung
team
in
is picking.
absolute ages, and she will be able to get her Meteor Shower in range of when the Feather Airstrikes have been deployed. Wan Wan, on the other hand, I guess they want something with a little bit more mobility to kind of dodge around within the area.
Yeah, and speaking of that, they do have a lot of mobility, to say the very least. Like, every single one of all these sort of heroes over on Bosskur's side has an element of dash, but, export, okay, but I'm guessing they're trying something out right here.
Yeah, I definitely believe that.
X4.
Axis, on the other hand, they get the X-Borg as well. I feel like that comp is pretty greedy. Not gonna lie, pretty greedy. Very, very greedy for the side of Axis Esports. Team Bosskurr are just gonna try and look for an angle to get onto that far side and kill the carries. But let's see what these teams have to say to each other in their taunt video.
Pada tim Bosskurr, walaupun Zaraki, Lexian dengan Kaiser pernah satu tim, tapi Kaiser bilang, dia cakap mau bantai semua tim Bosskurr bilang. Bantai.
Kepada tim Axis, korang jangan ingat kita orang hanya berharap dengan Zaraki dengan Malaysia. Korang tak tahu lagi kita orang ada global hanya bisa Choni ah. Ni Sino ni. Sino ni yang patut korang takut.
Well, of course, a little bit of that sort of banter. Both brothers just actually exchanging words at each other. I can't find a clear winner, to be honest.
I'm sorry, do I need to move over to
Welcome
another game
to
to find
Mobile
the
Legends.
What happened to, like,
5 seconds till the enemy
what
reaches
happened
the
to the
battlefield.
old school stuff, man?
Oh, waiter, bring us some salt because we
All
gotta spice
troops
this thing
deployed.
up.
Man,
Salt and pepper we go.
I feel like it's so bland. I want the taunts to be like personal, man. Like go after Too Easy for Jeps if you have to. Like he's an easy shooting target right there.
Yeah, I mean, like, look at him go. Where exactly is he? He's not appearing in yesterday's game. Not appearing for today as well. I mean, what's with the pickup?
Yeah, what's with the pickup indeed? But let's see how Axis kind of wants to play this game out, because they are doing a very interesting start where instead of doing the buffs, they want to make sure they maintain river control over Team Bosskurr. And yeah, they get both River Sentinels here. That's pretty good so far, but they haven't even started on their buffs. I'm not entirely sure why they're delaying it. And here it goes. They actually want to go for the invade on the blue side of the map. This might be a little risky.
Oh my goodness, you look at this popping down real low, but it's going to be the first blood. It works a lot of Axis getting 2 kills in the favor, and also the buff. They are running in everything as they go.
That was an absolute disaster for me, and Team Bosskurr just get absolutely obliterated here. They couldn't do much. Like their main damage dealers, Lexia and Rush, again, they aren't designed to be level 1 and level 2 heroes. They need a little bit more time, and they need their level 4s to be effective.
Yeah, and I'm really not entirely sure why exactly did they really force that spike right there. So Team Bosskurr, of course, loses a little bit of that sort of advantage. Here comes the Rocky, though. He's actually cutting across, and that's one flame shot, 2 shots, and oh, that arrow almost actually landing.
Luckily, Zaraki still had that Shunpo, so he survives that last auto attack at the end there. Pretty good so far, as Axis has a good start. Kaiser X already got his warrior boots. He's gonna be a little bit harder to kill. Evil X, you're greeting out here. You might not want to touch that.
Yeah, no, it seems like Zeno will still be able to actually River Crab as we see a little bit of that really long exchange between Evil X as well as Zeno. I mean, it's gonna take forever until the Fierce. Oh my! And that's going to be forcing out a flicker coming from Sino as well as he secures that 1 kill in the back. And might just actually pull him alongside.
That was close. Luckily, he had the vengeance there. Logan's going to be the next one, forcing out the flicker straight away. Ooh, that's the beauty of Farsa. If you can't get on top of her, you got to run away. And if you do, that Feather Airstrike is going to be right on your back.
Oh, yeah. And after we look into how Bosskurr is rotating across, that's going to be a little bit of contest on the river as Kaiser X will be able to actually steal that 1 camp away. And Malaysia leading a little bit of helping.
Turtle resurrecting soon.
That buff as Kaiser X is causing a lot of destruction inside of the jungle.
Yeah. They have to pull on backwards here, but the jungle is contested time and time again. Oh, great Abyssal Arrow! They all go in for it! Can they do it? Yes, they do! Oh my goodness, the flicker was not enough to get enough distance from the side of Rush, but Zaraki on the other side is making sure that Kaiser X can't just take what he wants. They go in for a punish here. Zaraki, he's got to be very careful. He doesn't have a lot of his abilities up right now, but he has Jukundo. He's saving it up to dodge it away. Unfortunately, he gets hit by the Abyssal Arrow, and a great kill secure coming in from both Rin and Lassie.
So nasty. I mean, there's just so many bombs from above and left, right, and center. They're getting shot as they go. EvilX once again losing a little bit of crit against Xeno, and of course, Bosskurr has already won them. Don't mess with Xeno in this sort of matchup, and they will actually find themselves a little bit of that sort of being crushed right down below, but despite them taking quite some time to actually end up. But Xeno's already reaching level 5 and getting 6-2.
Yeah, they have to be careful. Boss is right on top of this. They should be able to secure the turtle, and they sneak it right under Axis's nose. EvilX on the other side forced to be pulled back. Xeno making sure that he's keeping Uranus in check. And now they're going to be going over the river crab, making sure that Lexia is fully fed.
Oh, speaking of which, Last is going to be looking for that shot over the side of Xeno. A little bit of that real long attempt, but, well, we can see that that's definitely a valiant effort coming in from the side of Axis Esports. Another arrow will miss as we see a couple of all these members of Bosskurr is slowly adjusting towards the temple, but here comes a little bit being used by this side of Barca for the time being. Nothing really much happening in the span of this 20 over seconds, but I think that there might just be a little bit more of that sort of eruption right down below as we see the choke might just actually go in for that sort of a takedown.
Yeah, and now again, back to Xeno and EvilX. They're just hitting each other, but Axis on the bottom side of the map trying to contest this. Oh no, Lassid was not able to get on out of there. Zaraki gets a great Way of the Dragon to help secure that kill. Now, the Meteor Shower being deployed by Rush isn't going to be able to chunk out that many people. He doesn't have a lot of gold on him right now.
We're looking at that sort of goal advantage given the worst side of Axis Esports for a little bit more, but this kind of changed in no time. Kaiser X has already bought himself that immortality, which means that this will be him just diving in and out of that fight in towards those turrets where they can perhaps secure a little bit of that cheeky kill. But, well, One's still trying to actually find himself a footing, but Xeno's getting caught out.
Yep, he's going to be taking quite a bit of damage, but the Vengeance keeps him alive through the true damage of Long. Woo, that was a well-timed Vengeance.
Wow, I didn't expect him to actually make it out of that. Like,
Turtle resurrecting
more
soon.
members just cutting by, and we really have to actually give that one power away. So Team Bosskurr is losing a couple of structures right now, but they are actually getting quite a number of turtles.
Yep, now they're going to slowly pull on back. Zaraki here, dealing full damage to show. He's already got the Blade of the Heptases. It's going to be very, very important to shred the armor of the big targets like Evil X, as well as Kaiser X.
Now we're seeing some really long changes once again for the top side, but there will be a little bit more attempt over midside as we see Malaysia getting deleted. Killing spree going in for Rin as he did not even fall a single time at all. But there will be the sort of turtle getting taken away as well.
Yeah. And now looking on the bottom side here, we're seeing Kaiser X. He's trying his very best to kill Zaraki, but Zaraki knows for sure he can win this 1v1 if he commits. He just needs to wait for the right conditions because he doesn't know where the rest of Axis Esports is right now. So there's no point.
Yeah, definitely no point at all because, like, if you're really comparing stats, if you do have that immortality and so much of all these damage items, he can just take any 1v1s for now. Of course, it'll be a little bit harder for him to actually crush out Logan, but so far they have not really faced eye to eye. That's going to be a little bit of that sort of force of nature coming out just to block them for a little bit. Here comes Tino.
Look at Evil X here on Uranus, pulling attention to himself. Team Bosskurr, every single time they try to commit to them, they have a member from a member of Axis who's relatively nearby from the spot. Oh, this is big. Kaiser X with a great last insanity. Chunks down Logan, but it's not going to be enough. Oh, a great catch onto it, but Zaraki, he tries to turn this around. However, he doesn't have enough damage. yet to one-shot that backline, but a great abyssal arrow coming in from Lassen, landing it on Rush for Rid.
Yeah, Zaraki landed a perfect sort of a Jikundo and Shitbo as well, knocking them all the way up in the air. But of course, it's really hard to follow up, and this also means that Axis Esports, after getting those pickoffs, they can definitely open up the base a little bit more.
Yeah, and now you can see Kaiser X, like, he doesn't really want to be part of this, and he's considering whether he needs to ult inwards. Rid, very aggressive feathered airstrike there, but he's forced to transform back
Turtle
out of his
resurrecting
hunter
soon.
mode, go for that top tier 2, because the next turtle is about to spawn.
We're looking at a couple more of that opportunities for Team Bosskurr here to defend for a while, but you're just losing so much of all these sort of structures, and now they can't really go in towards that turtle pit anywhere safely because it's already being guarded by that export that has been waiting by the corners, and eventually, you know, Uranus is just going to be pushing it towards the top side, so Team Bosskurr really has to choose what to commit to.
Yeah, and now Evil X in prime position. They are 9k ahead, you know. We haven't talked about the goal differential as well, because now that Axis has this goal differential, it puts Team Bosskurr at a very awkward position where, there we go, another pick-off once again, this time onto Zaraki. This Lord is pretty much going to be free for them.
Yeah, I think that this definitely will be a free Lord if they really want to go for it, but none of these members, other than the carry, of course, will actually start a little Reborn, and maybe they can just bait them and force them in towards that team fight, which would be the most optimal choice, because, to be honest, it's going to take quite a while for Team Bosskurr to even do anything much of a damage towards the Lord if they even come anywhere close.
Yep, and Lauren has been taken down once again for the side of Axis. They've got an 11k goal lead. Let's see how they look to end or try to close out this game, because bottom inhibitor is absolutely gone. Team Bosskurr, this is a dire situation, but can they pull it out like they did, like Envy did against Orange in the previous series?
Well, maybe they might be able to actually do just that, but, well, I'm not really all too sure, like, because like now the Siren narratives have been a little bit different. Thunderbell has already been purchased there by Long. So far, he might not actually get all too much with that sort of kills being stacked up, but if you give him the right moment, he will do a whole lot of damage. Look at what he does to Logan, but here it comes. The Dragon Armor has been popped, with the last insanity being opened up, and Grid will be creating some space with his open.
Yep, and now again, they're pulling on backward. Rin using that feather airstrike very, very effectively. They are trying to get this inhibitor, top inhibitor, as Lord is pushing down. They don't have enough members. They get hit by a very good abyssal arrow. They take down the top inhibitor. They want more. They want that mid inhibitor as well. Everything, just give them everything.
Oh my, and now that the Lord has already caught a lot of potential of Bosskurr, they will just pop right in. Last Insanity will be able to actually find one as Logan tries his best to actually clear off the entirety of the wave, but these members of Axis will press on the attack, will find game number 1 right in their hands.
Really good game. Really good game coming in from Axis. A lot of clean movements, and at the very end, they closed it out like a pro. Bosskurr, on the other hand, getting hit by some very, very crucial abyssal arrows, and it really hurt them, especially when they wanted to get ahead in the game.
Yeah, and of course, I felt like it's a little bit of that mismaneuver on that early game that cost them so much, and like it's like, hey guys, we got this game plan. Okay, let's stick to plan A. And it's like, okay, we messed up here. Do we have a plan B? Like, it didn't really seem so, and you know, things just get rougher and rougher and
more difficult.
Yeah, it is what it is, and eventually they just play textbook coming from the side of Axis Esports to secure game 1.
Yep. So far, I'm excited to see whether Axis is going to, you know, show us a little bit more than what they have so far. That Farsa comp, it definitely worked out really nicely. You know, with the Selena combination, they ensured that they got the kills that they needed to get. Team Bosskurr, on the other hand, Chang'e definitely did not work out for them.
Yep. It's definitely been quite rough with that Chang'e pick. Kind of so 2019 with that sort of pickup, but of course, time for us to have a look into some of the stats that have been concluded, and of course, all thanks to our producers for bringing out all the numbers on screen. As we saw, of course, Rin being a really vital playmaker in this sort of game, alongside with Lasset. I worked really well as a unit, and of course, Kaiser-X has been gelling him very well with the rest of Axis. Esports.
I could definitely understand here the 5-mass setup coming in. From Team Bosskurr, and they were funneling the goal into Lung. As you can definitely see by his goal differential, his damage not too bad as well, but Rin also was able to catch up. He's not too far behind in terms of the goal, but he did get that one item, So that's all Rin really needed, especially against a very starving and deprived, malnourished Team Bosskurr draft.
Yeah, I really was a little bit more concerned whether or not can they actually snowball the advantage early on, but of course he definitely cruised through with no issues at all. This is where, of course, things really got so messy. Of course, Brock goes down first, and then followed by Sino, and Alicia managed to actually flicker in time, so that's good for him. And Sino, of course, flexing his muscles with that 1v1 battle, which erupted into 1 versus 2, but he survived out of that and almost pulled Lung in towards a reverse fight.
Yep, and every single time the Meteor Shard does come out, and especially when you see Lasset, do expect to have Rin very, very close by, ready to deploy just in case. And overall, Lasset has been able to hit some very crucial abyssal arrows, which makes the job so easy for Rin.
Yeah, it's just two of these tag team duos working it out so well, so cohesive on their attacks, and there's so much of all these sort of warriors for Bosskurr. Like, you can't really dive straight in towards the middle to actually take on any of these fights, and you can't even go on towards any of the frontliners. Like, the moment that Lord just arrived and they've managed to take down that mid lane tower, eventually they are just looking for kills. Like, you saw Logan, of course, just desperate to clear off all those waves. Eventually, Evil X just dove all the way in to just force him all the way back, and of course, this was game over in the span of 11 minutes and a half.
Yep, very clean game overall. Axis didn't make too many mistakes overall and really punished Bosskurr for having a Chang'e pick. And she really needed that goal, and especially when you decide to go when you decide to go and funnel, you're going to need 4 masks. Some people like to go 5 masks, but eventually you are going to need to sell it. Somebody needs to get ahead, and that's kind of where the goal distribution becomes a problem.
Yeah, and I really felt like it's something to do with the draft once again, and also the planning in between, like you say, funneling the goal in towards investing all that sort of EXP and money in towards the right sort of players. It will give you that sort of edge, but of course, we're going to give them a little bit of time to think on how they really want to work out game number 2, which will come in pretty shortly. Of course, you guys are still waiting for something. There's going to be a code right down below, so why don't you check it down below right here. You kind of give me a little surprise, but 2 minutes is no surprise. We've been giving this all day, and we're actually having even more to come. So make sure you guys snatch it up real quick before this code disappears.
Hashtag greed is good here at the MPL-MY SG so far. Hopefully you guys are enjoying our cast on top of all the games that have been happening today, because these teams really are working hard to try and get those points up. Team Bosskurr, they're going to need to work extra hard if they're going to beat Axis, because Axis are showing up and are being a formidable opponent.
Yes, indeed. And of course, I'm really looking at the chances of Axis Esports going in towards the upper bracket of the playoffs, which, you know, they've done it before, and if they just keep on going at it, I think that the chances of them are pretty much on the good records.
So far, we haven't seen, you know, people actually win MPL 2 times in a row, and I think EVOS wants to be able to do that. However, the competition is looking really, really tough. You know, Orange Esports looking like they can take anybody on. Axis starting to look cleaner, having a little bit more shape and form, and it's just only going to get better from here on out.
That's definitely right. And of course, Resurgence also on a hot, solid, undefeated streak as well. But of course, we'll see in those upcoming weeks whether or not can anyone take down some of the Titans that are on top. But speaking of which, we'll come right back after this short break. And when we do, we'll bring you Game 2 between Axis Esports versus Team Bosskurr. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
You have slain an enemy. Double kill.
Where's my mommy and daddy?
Killing spree. Your team destroyed a turret.
Where's my mommy and daddy?
Shut down. Unstoppable. Double kill. Triple kill.
Download for free. Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Uranus has awakened.
Team destroyed a legendary. Launch attack. An enemy has been slain. Launch attack. Legendary. Legendary. Double kill. You have slain an enemy. Double
Download for free. Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Fighting Kimmy! Let the weak melt away! Legendary! Double kill! Legendary! Double kill! Triple kill! You have slain an enemy! Ally has been double kill! Triple kill! Maniac! An enemy has been slain! Your team destroyed a turret! Legendary attack! Double kill!
Download for free. Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
And we're already back. Welcome back to the MPL Season 5 MYSG, sponsored by officially our digital telco, Yudu, and brought to you by EGG Network as well as Muntu. We're already here with the second game of Team Bosskurr versus Axis Esports, and Axis looking hot.
Oh, yes, indeed. And of course, they seem to actually know some of all the strengths and weakness of their fellow brothers who are playing on the opposing end. And they instantaneously punish from the very first minute.
Just a bit of a clap, bit of a
Just like I have outgrown you, big bro.
Yeah. when the youngest brother is taller than everybody else, that's what it kind of looks like right now.
Oh yeah, I mean that's usually like the case of that sort of sibling rivalry. Like sometimes it's not about the main beef. It's all about something that's really small.
Yeah, really.
It's like, hey, you took my lunch money today, or like, okay, who just stole my fried chicken during lunch or something like that.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, it's the last piece of chicken amongst the family meal, and it's just like, who does it go to? The youngest one is like clearly the tallest guy.
Okay.
This is so oddly relatable.
Yeah.
All right. Enough of that. I want to see what the draft that Axis is willing to bring this time around, because the previous draft, not too bad, honestly. They got the really nasty combination of the Farsa Selena. They had their hyper carry, so yada yada yada. Team Bosskurr, on the other hand, Chang'e didn't work out.
Yeah.
Chang'e just got hit by every single arrow there.
Well, I'm not really too sure what really to say about Chang'e. I feel it's really way too off meta. Like, where exactly does she fit or stand in? If you really want to draft around the Chang'e, like if you really want that sort of a full team fight heavy composition, it's really nice. It's like there's so much mobility for them to actually just readjust themselves. And what about the Meteor Shower? Does it really dish that much?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, Meteor Shower doesn't hurt as much as it used to, but I still think there is a place for her in the meta. I just don't think in this particular this variation of the composition where it's like it's trying to mix in the meta with a little bit of flavor in it. Don't think it works out here. I do think you need to kind of build it around the Chang'e. But let's go into the draft picks and start this off straight away. Looks like Claude is going to be the first ban from Axis. They really don't want them to have Claude, huh?
Yeah, I guess like this is definitely that sort of a comfort pick for some of the players from the side of Bosskurr. And yesterday they did perform pretty well when they do get the chance to actually land their hands on towards that Claude. But now, of course, tides have changed, and of course, brothers actually know each other the best. So maybe they just like target ban it away from players like Malaysia, players like Logan, and now we're looking at that Sicilian, which they have also picked yesterday.
Yeah, so, you know, some good options here. I kind of feel like the Claude's a little weird unless they have an idea of what they want to do. Probably pick their marksman early on within the rotation, and that's probably why the Claude is banned out. Let's see Team Bosskurr on the other hand.
Your team is
okay,
picking.
pretty standard for the side of Team Bosskurr. What is Axis going to start off with? They could go for the Brock, they could go for the Diggy. Those are the two main ones. Some might argue even the Selena.
Oh yeah, I think Selena has been working wonderfully, and you know, seasons after seasons, and even, you know, their championship season, they had a Selena on board, and you know, it definitely shouldn't be a glitch.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry. Yeah.
I don't mind the carry. I mean, so far, as long as they can just make sure that she just hyper carry her way through, then that's gonna be great.
Barca.
Your team
Yo, this
is
draft
picking.
is wrong, dude. This is the wrong way to draft. Like, the ban's is absolutely fine. You don't start off with your marksman instantaneously because number one, where are you gonna go with this? We know you want a hyper carry. However, like, it's as if Axis is playing on the red side, trying to respond to Team Bosskurr, which they shouldn't be. Set the pace. Don't be scared of telling you, hey, I don't mind going for a flex pick, but they will have access to Selena and Jawhead. So let's see how Team Bosskurr want to build their composition because they have to lock in that Valier.
Yeah.
If they don't lock in that Valier, I have a problem with this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's out in the open, and they definitely can actually go for this one, but I'm not sure why exactly is Axis Esports putting so much emphasis on that marksman. And,
your team is banned.
Bruno,
you have
2019 picks. Let's go. 2019. We are back in season 4 when this used to work all so well.
My issue with it is the order of which these heroes are being picked, not the heroes themselves. I am absolutely fine with Carry. I'm absolutely fine with Bruno. No issues whatsoever. But Axis Esports just ban out the Valier just so that you can hard engage. Kaja, you know what? We didn't need Valier anyway. Nobody needed Valier. This, trying not to explode here. This is so wrong. This is so wrong.
Okay.
No draft should look like this.
Who knows? Like maybe they might just say, "Hey, none of us." Maybe both of them know. Hey, none of us really play that.
Why are you banning it out for yourself? Why are you banning it out for yourself? You want to pick it for yourself. What's going on? I can't deal with this right now. Yo, bro, I legitimately can't deal with this right now. This draft is so wrong on so many levels.
Well, of course, you got to give them a little bit of that sort of chance to actually play what they need to actually go for. But, you know, there's still a lot of all these great stuff that's being left out on the table. Like, you got the Evil X here, the Ass, the Uranus. But, you know, they still need something that's pretty much something that they can still fall back into. So I'm looking at Long here. What exactly should they really finish this entirety of the composition with? And they choose to go in for the Nana. A lot of all those sort of crowd control to hopefully make sure that they have what it takes to peel off whoever's in the front line.
Sylvana.
I mean, at this point, like Team Bosskurr, if they wanted to set up for Sylvana, I guess you really got it, but I really hope you perform well because this draft, so many things wrong with it on so many different levels. I think both of these teams kind of outplayed themselves, honestly, because Axis could have had the perfect comp to deal with it overall, but they decided not to, and they got rid of the Kaja as well, which didn't exactly help their cause overall. Team Bosskurr, on the other hand, like their opening sounded good. They decided to ban out their Valier and basically screwed over the second half of their draft. You know what? Let's see.
They could have gotten that for themselves for sure, but you know, who knows what do they have in store for us, especially with the Sylvana coming into the picture. And of course, they feel a little bit more confident with that. Let's see how Game 2 is going to go as Team Bosskurr takes on Axis Esports once more. And of course, looking for that draw. They are absolutely falling back in towards a very different sort of way to actually play this one out. And let's go. This is Game 2. Bosskurr versus Axis.
I'm gonna preface that usually I don't give such a bombastic reaction just for the sake of it, mainly because I've seen weirder drafts before, but there is some kind of idea. This particular draft is just wrong on so many levels. It's like, you know that there's step 1, 2, and 3. You start at step 3, and all of a sudden there's like a step -1 somewhere along there. Like, where did it even come from? Like, in what world is this right?
Yeah, I know. Like, this might just be a 20-30 strat coming in.
This is beyond me. This is 300 IQ that I can't even grasp.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't predict your enemies, then what makes you think that they can actually understand himself, so you know a little bit better. You know, like if you don't know what you're doing, then neither can your enemies. So here comes, of course, some folks over on the bottom side.
That's some very accurate words there, but Grok is going to have to flicker on out of there. He, again, won't be able to do much here, but keep your eyes here on Team Bosskurr. They should have been playing for the early game as soon as possible. However, their comp really works a little bit weirdly. They need to hit level 2 before they can start these, massive invades. So Axis has taken the advantage. Lhasa hits his level 2. Rin hits level 2. They immediately look to get into a fight, and yeah, they do push Grok away.
Yeah, we're already looking at a lot of all this sort of space creation coming in from the side of Axis Esports. Now, Zaraki can only stand by and watch, but, he's already sensing a lot of this danger lurking in towards the bomb side. But, oh my, Sino definitely will be able to actually pull Kaiser down to really low health, and Team Bosskurr looks for first blood.
Oh, that's a really good first blood so far. Their team's going to need a couple more of those if they want to get ahead here. Axis a little slow to respond. However, they haven't been able to dive. A lot of priority went to mid. I think they wanted to respond. However, a little slow on that rotation.
Yeah, a little bit quicker would definitely benefit it a little bit more. But, they really can't cry over spoiled milk for now, as more puts have already been purchased by Kaiser Rex as well as Zaraki. And we're looking at another sort of shot headed towards the side of Logan, but nothing much will be coming out from that sort of attempt over to Grok. But,
yeah.
Rin so far in the past game, he has definitely been showing up, but now that he's playing Nana, maybe his capabilities might hinder a little bit. I'm not sure, but share it to your thoughts.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Let's check out who got the red buff. That Oolong actually was able to steal that away without a retribution as well.
Turtle
That's kind of the problem with people
soon.
taking these bigger spells like Flicker. Kaiser X going to be next to fall here. Sino, a great pick overall by Team Bosskurr. And yeah, getting back to your question there, it's kind of hard to say because there's a lot of factors that they need to keep in consideration, because like things like Logan walking into 3 people, wild charge as well, things like that. If he was at even level, arguably even level, or even ahead of level, it might have been a completely different story.
Yeah, it definitely will be a different story. But 1 versus 2 situation being
dead.
popped right now. Goes in with the way of the dragon. Whoa! He survives! Kick of the century!
He didn't buffer his ejector. Wow! Okay, alright. A slight mishap coming in from Kaiser X, but really nicely done by Sino. Timed that very, very well.
Wow. I mean, I hardly see this, and now you understand why he's the top global Cho in the world.
Oh, well, that there could be an argument for that there currently, but, I would say we're going to have to see a lot more from Sino here if it's going to make a difference. Zaraki kind of missing his second ability in the wrong direction, but he locked down Lasset for a while. Rush unable to capitalize on it, but Sino once again 1v1ing Kaiser X, kicks him away. The smart missiles, the shield from the smart missiles protect him for a little bit. He does lose out on the life tree, but I think the rest of the team want to collapse on him.
Yeah, but I think that they're holding back a little bit more because they don't really receive all too much of vital information. A little bit of a hide and seek coming in from both points, but we're already looking at an invade coming in from Bosskurr as they are looking to actually escort one huge fat wave to actually take down one tower and of course keep pushing. A bit of that sort of trade over on the bottom side as well, but Bosskurr is way swifter on their approach.
Yeah, now the recalls is coming, but I think it's a little too late. You can already see with Sino. Okay, Sino is going to be okay, but the inhibitor turret should be going down. No, it looks like they backed off a little too soon there, and using that feather and airstrike, kind of interesting because it was basically there to clear out the minion waves rather than just walking up to the minion waves. Right?
Yeah. Very interesting reactions coming in from most of all these players as we see double flickers being popped up from both sides, and there will be Evil X going for that sort of invade, and every single one of these members are looking to open things up over in the mid lane right here as we have the turtle up online, but none of all these players are actually giving that sort of priority over on top side of the river as we already see Sino already starting things up, and Logan, getting caught off.
Yep, luckily he didn't get polymorphed there. The Feather Airstrike does come down. Rushes has the undeploy before he gets chunked out. My goodness, Nana was able to get the boomerang in. The Cryo Turtle goes over to the side of Team Bosskurr as they're turning this around. They get it right onto Nana. She can't run away. Your passive ain't good enough this time.
Oh, Sino kicks him right in towards the pit and delivers one more kill towards Team Bosskurr right there. But so far, things are going pretty smoothly, and of course, for some reason, this draft working pretty much as planned.
Yeah, it looks like Axis got a little sloppy there, and Team Bosskurr is just taking advantage. You're slower on the rotations. I nearly took away. If it wasn't for Sino, there, I'm pretty sure. Sorry, if it wasn't for what's his name, Evil X being down on the bottom side, I'm pretty sure they would have taken away that inhibitor turret.
Yeah, they definitely would have done so in that sort of instance. Endless Battle already being purchased by Sino, as we already see a Tomahawk in the hands of the carry. And as we slowly progress towards the 7-minute mark, of course, we're going to see a little bit more fight inside of the river, as that will be a real long shot coming in, and one will be able to actually fight the bus as the carry falls. Evil X will run across, and that leaves him to pretty much back into his safety nest. But I'm really not seeing all too much of a great push. Oh, what's this happening?
He's using the Shin Pole really, really well. He's also going to pick up the Charm to get a bit of a dash. Dodges the next Abyssal Arrow. Sino refuses to get caught out so far. He's really flexing on Axis right now with his skills.
Yeah, well, now that they've already got so many of all that sort of a kill potential going in for his favor. If they were to actually be another T-fight right down the bottom lane, I'm pretty sure that Malaysia will be pretty much well prepared for this. Flicker coming in, wall charge over onto the side of Lasted as well, and he will be able to actually escape, and it's a big turnaround to take down Logan.
That's pretty huge. That's pretty huge.
Turtle
Okay, now that Logan is
soon.
down, oh boy, Axis is going to try and take advantage. Maybe they should be able to get the turtle off of this, but you can see Selena does go for the reset. Evil X, again, this is just a literal punching bag when it comes to Uranus.
Yeah, of course, they've been right there, but not really too much of that sort of damage test. Is a little bit too tight of an area to actually fight, but as we see Sino here still trying to actually keep himself occupied with that. Zaraki's going to be pushed all the way back. Flicker so to enemy characters as we see Kaiser just has to actually get one, and it's a big mega kill coming in for Malaysia.
Wait, check out the split push coming in from Sino here. This is so huge. Evil X, you had to recall. You shouldn't have taken so many trades, and now they've lost an inhibitor for almost no reason here, and the super minions will mobilize on the top side of the map.
Now we've already seen all these sort of structures fall down pieces by pieces as Team Bosskurr still holding on towards their lead, as we see them having about 5,000 in terms of gold differences for the current 9-minute mark.
Yep, and you know, Axis Esports definitely playing a lot sloppier because you can see Team Bosskurr just taking advantage. They lost 2 members there in that fight alone, and yet they lost 2 turrets, including an inhibitor turret. Just the macro play from Team Bosskurr right now is really on point.
Yeah, I gotta say so as well. Evil X almost actually falling flat, but that's gonna be a little bit of that zone for him to cover. And Farsa will definitely be missing a couple of those sort of shots coming from her ult, but there's no heavy commitment coming from Axis Esports no matter what.
Yeah, they're gonna have to hold their ground for now until they can start catching back up with the gold lead. They don't have a lot of pick potential here except for Lasted, the Abyssal Arrow, so I think they're just waiting for the call when Lasted actually hits Abyssal Arrow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's just flexing a little bit of damage on how much he can actually dish out. But here comes Logan, though, going in with a wall charge instantaneously, gets deleted from quite a distance as Rush Makarov will be able to find his very first kill.
The rest of the team should be able to hold on for now. As long as they don't lose another inhibitor turret for free, I think Axis is still in it to win it. But Team Bosskurr, they've got a 7k goal lead, and Lord is up. You know what that means.
Oh my, I definitely will know that this is definitely going to be a big setup coming in, as Sino has been distracting so many of all these members of Axis Esports, which means this is a free Lord for the taking for Team Bosskurr.
They shouldn't have any contestant. Looks like Rin is going to get caught out. The flame shot coming through. Oh, the passive, but can he make it to the edge? Oh, unfortunately it doesn't, but luckily Bruno was there to slide tackle to close the distance and secure the kill onto Rid.
Yeah, of course, landing another strike as we see him scoring 5 already on the charts of the kills. And right now, already seven sort of the towers have already been secured by Team Bosskurr already, but they're taking things relatively slowly. They really don't want to throw any of their leads so far, especially waiting for that Lord to come by. It's going to take quite an amount of time as it will march through that top side of the wave.
Yeah, Logan going to be holding on so far now as they pull on through. Sino pushing through the bottom side. Axis here just surrounded on all ends. They can't do much as the Lord empowered minions are coming through. Sino technically shouldn't have pushed that bottom wave, but at least they... Oh wait, no, sorry. He can push that first wave. The wave behind it is the one that has the Lord empowered minions. They're slowing down the mid wave just so they can synchronize the Lord crashing in with the rest of the team.
They might just actually be able to actually pull things off. And Rin, oh my! He's taking a little bit away too much. Oh, it started! Blue has to back away as well as we see Zaraki trying to actually open up the mid lane as Axis Esports have to watch that turret fall. But now they definitely got bigger fish to fry with the Lord knocking in the doors. And now Logan is actually forcing out the fight with Frostbacker right in between. Evil Axe tries to actually push them away, but there's so much damage being done, and they finally find Rush and takes that kill.
What just happened there? They literally, Rush literally sat there. I'm just shocked.
He could have walked over. I mean, he could have just escaped out of that. Like, okay, I got what I need. Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they didn't do anything with that really. They took one inhibitor turret, and then I don't know what happened to the comms, but everyone kind of just froze and did nothing for a second.
Yeah, I felt like with a little bit more pressure, Team Bosskurr might be able to reap even more rewards out of that. But here comes Sino. We drag this over on towards Evil X as we see Lasset falling that 1v1, but here comes the tag team duo going in for a deserved brawl as Evil X will still be able to actually walk out that live. Meanwhile, Savannah is already taken off. Zaraki now on second deck.
Yeah, now they're going to go for that bottom push. They want to take out that last one. Evil X, he can't afford to get hit. Oh, but the third hit, Jacundo Lexia, just use your last auto. But he's a little hesitant because he knows that Lasset is there in the wake, throws the Abyssal Arrow, dodges over, and the rest of the team wants to collab on Evil X one more time. He uses the concentration to walk away from the CC and the slow. However, the way of the Dragon is going to secure the kill onto Lasset here. Bosskurr only trade 1 for 1.
So far, so good for Bosskurr as they manage to actually secure one more tower, which leaves their base pretty much exposed. Now, 9-7, although that's a kill differential is pretty much close by, we know that Axis Esports can still clear waves pretty much rapidly as all these potions and immortality is coming up online.
Yep, 4 more K until Axis hits their critical mass here, and even their hyper carries are getting very close. Winds of Fury, Winds of Nature has been purchased on top of the endless battle here. The timing of using that Winds of Nature is going to be super, super important. Doesn't mean they aren't going to take themselves out here. So, going to get an initial kick onto Evil X. Evil X just going to walk away. He's got immortality. They even throw some emotes knowing that this is going to go nowhere. They're going to be running around for ages on top of the fact that Evil X does have a gigantic shield on top of him. The regeneration coming in is just too big. Kaiser X getting hit by the Feathered Ash Strike. It just took 3 to knock him out.
Oh my goodness me. Nasty damage is coming in. And, well, other than that, we're still having Sino just knocking around the bottom side, but, well, there is the Lord, which he is trying to actually distract every other members of Axis Esports from, but wow, that fight, pretty much interesting.
Really, really interesting. Now Lord is in the hands of Team Bosskurr, who want to look to move in on this. However, Logan as well as Rush is going to completely zone them off.
Oh my, Rin gets caught out. He should not be anywhere close by, so then he gets taken down, and of course, Rin just walking across. There is Logan. I'm not too sure what is he even thinking. There's no escape for them whatsoever as we are looking at Team Bosskurr having every single thing all in check, and they will be able to actually crush things down. And now they're eyeing for the crystal base. Evil X being a little bit of a nuisance there, tanking some shots, but here comes Lungo.
Yep, and now they're looking to potentially end the game. Lexia on that Bruno, getting free autos. no one was able to stop him. What a game for Team Bosskurr, but that's a little unfortunate for Axis. They played like really sloppily overall. Honestly, I would have given it over to Team Axis there because the draft coming in from Bosskurr was just not great. Not great at all.
Not great, but good enough to actually win this game.
You have a lot of it is attributed to both Alexia and Sino.
Yeah.
Like Sino, wow.
He controlled the tempo of the game. I gotta give him that respect because he handled so many well this situation of that solo lane for the longest time, and he can just deliver all the sort of things that you want. You want those towers? I'm gonna get you those towers. You want attention? I'm gonna rake in all this attention I can get from all these members of Axis Esports, which means they can't do their signature split push or anything. And that's pretty much similar to that.
Yeah, man, it's good to see Sino back on show one more time. What he was known to be the one trick of the century, but now he's kind of spread out his wings, tried everything else, tasted the different flavors before coming back to the one and true show.
That's right, the one and only. And now, of course, we really want to actually have a look in towards some of all these stats coming in for game number 2. As of course, Malaysia is the MVP with total KDA of 603. And of course, got that 10.5 rating, shining, glimmering, splendid for himself. But, you know, a lot of all these, like you mentioned, attributed to how, you know, already had one thing perfectly done. So it's really how Logan and Zaraki set things up for Rush Macro.
Yeah, and you know, it was a tough game overall, but the moment Rush was able to get a couple of items that and his feathered air strikes just hit like trucks, there was just no way for Axis to actually come back into this game because they are very dependent on Lasset landing those abyssal arrows, and the moment Lasset goes out, the rest of the team just has to play a front to front, and they just can't win that against a composition like Team Bosskurr right now.
Yeah, and well, I do notice that there is definitely one slight flaw, which I really wouldn't harp them all too much on, because even if that's a Lasset lantern abyssal arrow, do they have enough burst damage to actually finish people off? Is definitely something that we need to ponder about, especially in the early game. It's definitely going to be very vital. Like if you don't really have enough of those sort of potential to actually get those numbers in, then it's quite a shame, I would say.
Yeah, I'm gonna reiterate, I have no issues with the heroes. I have an issue with the order they were picked overall. That's why when I'm saying draft, I'm not talking about the team composition, I'm talking about how they were selected and when. But overall, Team Bosskurr will come up on top here. Axis, boy, it was just really, really unfortunate. I think they definitely could have played better here.
Oh, definitely would say so. Of course, we're going to have the highlights coming pretty much shortly. So let's have a look into how both teams actually played this one out. Of course, Axis Esports got themselves some really interesting early pickoffs right there until Kaiser X, of course, got gang up upon by 4 members of Team Bosskurr, which, of course, opened a lot of all these things up with Sino. Of course, doing Sino things, just showing off why he is one of the best, especially in this moment. Like, we thought he was a goner. He just used Way of the Dragon. It's like, okay, sayonara.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kaiser forgot to buffer in the ejector there, and I think he would have been able to secure that kill. But, you know, that's a little unfortunate, and the timing was a little off. But overall, Team Bosskurr, in terms of like the movement, their macro game was really, really good this time round. In comparison to Axis, we're just looking for different angles, and I think because of the previous early game, the failed invades, things like that, really hurt them in the long run. Like, I think Axis might have done a lot better had they not given up such an early lead.
Oh yeah, but they did manage to actually get quite a lot of all these really good trades though inside of all these river fights, where you saw, of course, Cecilia managed to actually get one off where Lasset was doing a lot of heavy lifting, but so many pressure coming in towards some of all these objectives like the Lord. And look at Rin, he's just trying to actually escape. A poor little creature can't really find a way back home, but this seems to be a little bit of that sort of overextension. And look at Rush, he's just right there soaking it, that sort of abyssal arrow, and yep, pretty much an easy catch for the side of Axis Esports.
Yeah, and again, I don't know whether they could have ended the game there, but honestly, Axis, without that catch, it probably would have been over for them anyways. But yeah, Team Bosskurr at the final here, great kick onto Lasset. And the moment they lose Lasset, it just becomes so difficult for Lung to actually play the game because now he has to deal with a Feather Airstrike by himself. And if Lasset isn't able to at least like force out Rush to back away or redeploy somewhere else without Lung being in range, that's definitely a win.
Yeah, definitely a very big win for them, especially now. Bosskurr managed to secure yet another point. 1 point from yesterday and 1 more for today. If they manage to actually close this one out, then that's 2 points for them.
Yep, it's 1-1 so far between both of these teams. We're going to have to wait and see whether or not who is going to come out in the end, but no perfect points for either one.
That's right, of course, no perfect points, but, you know, we like some brownie points, and I'm just going to make sure that something appears out of thin air, and right down below, there's going to be a code right for you.
Take it or leave it here because greed is good. Hashtag that into the chat below instead of GIF? Question mark? Don't worry, we're feeling a little generous, so we're trying to satiate that hunger right now.
That's right, of course. Pop that right in, and we will get ourselves in towards match number 3. So far, you know, they've already known how to actually play out some of all these tactics and from the sort of draft order and stuff like that. Although we were a little bit anal on certain things, like Uranus coming in somewhere in between. But of course, it was still a really good game for the side of Team Bosskurr. So we really got to give them props for that. And hopefully enough, they found themselves that sort of edge to pull their way in to get that 2-1.
And before we go into the third game, we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, it's going to be the deciding factor of who is going to get points and who is just going to crawl, cripple, and hide. Remember, you're watching the MPL Season 5 MYSG. And our sponsor is by official digital telco Udo and brought to you by EGG Network as well as Moontoon. We'll be right back.
You have slain an enemy. Double kill.
Where's my mommy and daddy?
Killing spree. Your team destroyed a turret.
And welcome back to the MPL Season 5. Of course, my name is Contra alongside with the Fatal 5-Way. And so far, things have been looking pretty much great in all these matches. Of course, all thanks to our sponsors, Udo, our official digital, of course, telco plan provider. Of course, you guys can customize the plans however you please. So make sure you guys check out their website, www.udo.com.my. And of course, not forgetting the ones who brought us the MPL Season 5, which is EG Network as well as Moonton. Now, of course, there has been a lot of cases of the COVID-19 actually spreading around Malaysia as well as across the globe. So we really wanted you guys to stay safe all the time and make sure you keep yourself clean. So make sure you guys don't go out there all too much. Wear a mask whenever you guys can. And of course, if you guys have sanitizers or anything at all that can keep yourself and your hands clean, go ahead and do so.
Yeah, this is a PSA. If you're wondering, please keep yourselves clean. Stay at home if you can. Make sure, because we don't want to spread the virus any more than as 400 cases have been confirmed already. So we don't want to add to those numbers. Stay safe, stay clean.
Yep, that's pretty much right. But so far, we are only looking at clean plays so far. And as for Bosskurr, they finally found that sort of grip that they really need. And they've been looking relatively hot, especially Leisha's performance has been pretty much stellar across some of all these games. But game one, a little bit sloppy. Of course, we see a little bit of a shift of the draft, which kind of worked in favor. And Sino, oh my, beautiful stuff on his show as always.
I've missed it for a very long time, you know, since I think Season 3 is where it's like, whenever they go up against each other and you see Sino, they're like, all right, first ban Cho, like, get rid of that. And people have kind of forgotten that this was the guy who pioneered how good you could get with Cho so far. But, you know, just a reminder of who he is. Let's go straight into the draft before we go on further. The Axis have an answer to actually deal with Team Bosskurr right now.
Well, I would definitely say that they might be able to actually pull off a couple of bans that will work in
Your
their favor, but
team
that's
is
going
banning.
to be the Kufra being banned away, and this will mean that they will try to leave Lane up for grabs. So one more ban for the side of Team Bomb. Now, maybe if they want to consider leaving that far side behind, but instead,
Your team
that's
is
going to be the
banning.
generic ban of the Grok for Axis Esports to decide what do they really want.
Yep, Sicilian going to be the first ban, followed up by the major tanks coming in from Team Bosskurr. Kufra as well as Grok has been taken out of the picture here. Rather interesting. Feels like a little bit of the old meta so far. Axis on the other side contemplating, okay, so they banned out tanks, so we have to get rid of Link,
Your
which means
team
all
is
the supports
picking.
are on the table. Team Bosskurr, they could go for their particularly weird draft last time, or they could start off with Farsa right off the bat.
Well, I do prefer the
Farsa.
Farsa, and
team
Rush
is
didn't even
picking.
think twice. It's like, okay, I want the Farsa. I want to go on that Farsa again. So, of course, insta-lot, no questions being asked. But as for Rin as well as Kaiser X, I think there is quite an amount of consideration that they could put on. Lair is up for grabs. There's so many other things like the Digi that you mentioned as well. Tank picks and even the Tamas, which not really first pick potential, which of course I did miss out on the Selena, which has been pretty much the go-to pick for the red side.
Oh, thank God. It didn't become kangaroo
Your
court
team
all
is
over again. They
picking.
decided to go for a draft that actually works out for them. The order is correct. Now, let's see how Team Bosskurr responds to this now that they've got, like, Axis has an answer to deal with Farsa. That's you know, primary number one.
Carry.
The question is now, does Team Bosskurr want to actually punish the off-lane picks here or not? They could go for the Thamos if they want to. They could flex out the Cho.
Your
Definitely
team is
understandable
picking.
considering Sino's performance, and that puts Axis in the tight position because, number one, is that Cho going to be in the offlane or is he going to be the main tank?
Oh yeah, and of course, sometimes he switches built in towards that one-shot Cho, which is relatively scary as well. And judging from his performance, I think that definitely
Your
will be
team
brought right
is
back
banning.
in, as we see Axis Esports brings in the Bruno to actually fend off against that carry right there. So phase number 2. Uranus really didn't cause too much of a problem for Sino, of course.
Yeah.
He got himself kicked right in the butt, and now
Pretty much.
heading in towards the second sort of picks and bans. We're seeing the
Your
Hunger being
team
banned
is
away,
banning.
and I'm not really agreeing with this.
I would understand if Axis wanted to ban out Hellcurt, because it's definitely for the opposite side. If Team Bosskurr picked up the Hellcurt for themselves, it ruins the composition. But let's say they didn't have the carry and they needed Hellcurt just to kind of hide away from the Farsa if you are from the side of Axis. So I can generally understand why you want it, but they've already got the carry here, so I feel like that's a little unnecessary.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Is that a no ban coming in from the side of Axis?
No, it's a little blade. Don't worry about
Your
it.
team
Of
is
course,
picking.
That's going to be the Kaja,
Oh,
which
my God.
yesterday they definitely have great results when they actually landed that Kaja in the hands of Team Bosskurr. So understanding what works best for Bosskurr, they eliminate their chances, and now going back to Uranus.
Yep, I don't mind Uranus here. It's going to be fine. Looks like it's going to be A-okay. I'm just glad that the draft is actually going the way it should have been. Previously. You know, both teams are not just banning weird stuff. They have proper reasoning for it. Let's see how else they're going to handle this. Uranus is going to be the lock-in. Team Bosskurr, I'm interested to see how they want to kind of finish off their comp here. They could. Valir is still out in the open.
Yeah, Valir definitely will be a high priority pick heading into this.
Boxia, okay.
Boxia. Where does he really stand right now? I don't mind it, but he needs to be constantly having enough pressure to work in this sort of a game. But, you know, if that early game really goes in the favor of Axis Esports, then
Your team
it's just
is
going to be
picking.
really, really tough for Bosskurr.
Why? Why Boxia of all things? They probably have a reasoning to have Boxia. I just feel that it's kind of weird. Like, it could have been switched off for Gatot. It could have been switched off for High Loss very easily, and both of which I can come up with some good reasoning for it. For the last 3 seconds, let's see what Axis has to say. Looks like they want the export as well. They want just the comp that allow. Oh no, not the export. Jawhead instead.
Jawhead.
All right, you know, things to kind of disrupt the Farsa as much as they can. You can just flick another hero in, or like, you know, if you need a hard engager.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much great, but now I guess Logan's main task is to keep Jawhead pretty much far away from that Farsa. So they kind of expected that pick coming in true, but speaking of which, Bosskurr could have actually picked that Jawhead for themselves, but instead they went in for that. But we hope that things really will go well for them. I'm really hoping to see how they actually play out this draft as we'll go towards our final battle between Axis Esports versus Team Bosskurr.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty exciting because there's a battle of different concepts here for both of their compositions. Like, Axis wants to play for the early game very much so. Like, level 1, 2, like, they want to fight pre-level 4. On the side of Team Bosskurr, however, they might want to try and be as even as possible. But let's see how far Axis can take their lead and kind of push it within the 6-minute mark. I'll give it 6 minutes. I'm a little generous this time.
Oh, yeah.
Because we know that Axis, you know,
5
has
seconds
a little bit
till
of
the enemy reaches the
decision-making
battlefield.
to do midway.
Smash them.
Yeah, and I really hope that they will be able to actually make all the right calls and towards some of all these team fights, because the past couple of games that have been concluded, the first game, of course, Axis was slightly sloppy. Of course, giving away 2 kills towards the side of Team Bosskurr, just to recap a little bit more. But now Silo is actually getting a little bit of that attention as he tries to actually pull the wave, which is pretty much unsuccessful. But Axis Esports now has definitely got that mid lane very, very well secured.
Yeah, it looks like Axis doing the exact same thing they did the last time. They went straight away, pushed up the waves, get priority, and then look for River Sentinel before going over to their own buffs. I would have liked to see them like instantly invade right now, but remember, Lasset isn't level 2 just yet, so probably right after this buff.
Yep, they'll be hitting them towards level 3, and eventually, you know, Kaiser X will still slowly scale right in, so he should be fitting right in place.
First blood.
Oh, first blood already going in the hands of Axis Esports.
Yep, and this is what I was talking about. This is where they kind of want to fight, force people, take any dives that they can. Yep, this is another one. It's going to be a free kill for Lasset. He goes back in, gets chunked to 50%, lower than 50%, 25% HP because of the turret, and they are just trying to destroy this mid turret as quickly as possible. I don't mind this plan from Axis because if they break that mid turret, they're going to have full access to jungle paths to buffs.
Yeah, you can see Rin knows his priority right now. He's just making sure that there's not going to be much coming in from the side of Xeno, as he will be able to actually proxy the wave. Same goes to Xeno's attempt as well, but he moves just in time to avoid So of all these attempts coming from Team Bosskurr, well, Zaraki is just going to have some sort of pressure coming in. It's still going to be pretty much safe and alive, but he will lose out a couple of camps for the side of Team Bosskurr.
Yeah, and oh no, he gets hit by the missile arrow. Zaraki might be in some trouble here, but now Lung is there to secure the kill. They don't have to do anything anymore. Just let him have it. Let Bruno have it. You're already trying to give him as much gold as possible. And even on the top side, they trade 1 for 1. Well played to Rin there. Now, the next turret is probably going to be going down, and I'm pretty sure Axis should be able to get this tier 1 mid, which is going to be A-okay because at the end of the day, they came out with more kills, more gold at the end, at the very end.
Oh yeah, yes indeed. Of course, Logan will be pulled back for a little bit more. That's a lot of all this attention coming in from the side of Axis Esports. A couple of flame shots being used into no effect as they miss all their chances. So far, you know, that bottom side skirmish was a little bit iffy to me because I felt like the flicker was not necessary.
Turtle resurrecting
Flicker was a bit
soon.
much there, but I think at the end of the day, you're just going to be able to not get out of certain situations and you won't be able to play make. It's a little bit of downtime, but, you know, nobody got hurt.
Yep, so far things are going really well for the side of Axis Esports, and we are looking at the possibility of Bosskurr right here getting this turtle underway, and well, hopefully this will be able to actually pull them all the way back. And Zaraki got himself caught up in between. Logan rushed right into it, and oh my, Evil X will be able to actually open the time journey just perfectly. So that's still going to be one loss over on the side of Bosskurr.
Bosskurr on the other side. Oh, they're trying to. Sino is just putting pressure across the map no matter where he is. You know that he just wants to bring the attention to himself. Like he's doing Uranus's job, except he has more utility built into his kit, so he's extra mobile instead of being just durable.
Yeah, of course, Uranus still one of the most meta picks coming in as a tank, and we're already seeing so much of all these advantages given to the side of Axis, which they need to actually make good use of it. They're going to let go of mid lane tower, but Evil X as well as Kaiser, they're actually committing towards the side of Malaysia as he forces a flicker. But look at how tanky it is, but the jaw hit will still fall, and Zaraki now will slowly peel backwards. But now there's a little bit of response coming from Axis Esports as well, who want to actually find a kill over Zaraki. Flicker being utilized.
Yep. They don't get the pick just yet, and it looks pretty even, dead even actually for both of these teams. A little bit more kills coming in from Axis, but a 1k goal lead isn't enough to end the game.
And I'm really looking at whether or not Team Bosskurr will be able to actually trace back what actually worked well for them. Because now, of course, lacking in terms of goal, it's really not too much of a big difference for the current standpoint per se, but you know, eventually if they get giving advantages after another, it's going to be really tough when Axis Esports forces these early game pressures.
Yeah, it's going to add up pretty quick. Logan here trying to get some damage on Sino. Sino gets hit by literally everything. Do they commit on it?
Turtle
But the communication
soon.
wasn't there. They
Oh, no.
could have gone for a very strong dive, but you know, this works out too. Kaiser X on the bottom side. Rin trying to clear this open. He is literally sidestepping everything here. Holy cow!
Oh my goodness, he's still alive after 5 seconds, and he is just taking every single blow straight to his face like a man that he is.
Wow, he just saved that bottom tier 1. I mean, it's probably still going to go down, but he just bought so much time. His team just netted themselves a free turtle, a free top tier 1, a free kill on top of all that. Not too bad.
Yeah, not too shabby after all, but you know, like they really need to actually cut their losses sometimes. Like he could have just tanked it, back away into safety, and like, you know what, just take my power and I'll just be gone, because that's more than enough of what he should be doing.
Yeah. Now, let's see how Axis kind of taking this in stride here. Both teams very even in terms of objectives. So far, nothing much has happened. Oh, big kick coming in. Longok kicked out of position. That means Evil X is going to go down. He tries to even pop the time journey, but it's just not enough. Kaiser X flickers forward, trying to look for a kill, but he missed unfortunately doesn't get the catch that he wants. Ah, that hurts.
Oh, definitely hurts. And of course, the follow-ups were not really all too perfect as we see Axis Esports now slowly losing the grip already. And we are looking at last here. Okay, chase upon by Sino. Gives him a kick to the face, and that will be a killing spree coming in for Malaysia with 3 kills already in the back. And Luke gets himself that endless battle.
Yep, looks like Team Bosskurr is doing an absolutely phenomenal job here at keeping Axis at bay. But Bruno does take Sino out finally after so long. It's going to be a 2-for-2 trade.
Now, of course, talk about so many of all these tradings being done, and then there's going to be about 4 to come. Axis Esports looking to actually punish Zaraki, pulls him all the way back with Ruger's time. And here comes a couple of all these shots being fired from above, looking for Evil X as well. Blue trying to actually run for his life. Oh, that flame shot was beautiful, and they will be able to actually find the kill upon that Bruno.
Turtle resurrecting
now they're
soon.
on the run constantly. Jawhead has been pushing this top side for the most part. Jawhead is now Sino's problem, while the rest of the team, again, great utilization. Even though Kaiser X was designed to be the offlaner, they still are using Uranus as much as they can to kind of get some side pressure
Mega
as well.
kill!
Yeah, of course, speaking of side pressure, right here, Bosskurr is doing a lot of tremendous effort to actually push every single one of these members of Axis Esports all the way back. Windtalker is going to be doing a lot of talking right here. And of course, Sino is just going to get this extra free turtle, of course, complimentary gift coming in from inside of Axis Esports. They did not arrive in time to actually snatch this one away.
Very big buy there. Now, let's see how they handle this, because again, Team Bosskurr is putting a lot of mid-pressure here as they are looking to control this area before the turtle. And it seems that Sino also has the same idea. He's going to push Jawhead out before clearing up the waves of that right in front of that tier 2. Turtle going over to Team Bosskurr.
Now, of course, with that being said, Team Bosskurr has already got themselves a little bit more beefy with all those additional gold that they've already gathered. And here comes a little bit punish. Oh, flips it all the way to the back, and he did not even expect that. He was all green-eyed for that river crab, and now he pays the price. Time journey being opened up by the side of Evil X. That's just a double kill for the side of Nation. Looking for a triple kill as well, but he will get shut down there as Lowe is already at the ready to actually kick him right in the face.
Yeah, and, oh boy, not looking good for Axis so far. However, Rin did get a little bit of a bottom push. It's not going to net too much here, but Team Bosskurr feels like they control the tempo. Oh, Rin, good job on the minion timings there. He will be able to proxy 2 waves in front of the enemy team. He might be dead here on top of that. Unfortunately, he can't hop over the wall this time. Oh, he does! And now he's surviving all the way through. He's healing up really nicely, too. Well done to Rin. Great play.
Oh, standing ovation coming in for him, because I thought he would actually falter right there because he was being a little bit too greedy. Like, the timing was great, in fact, but now he managed to actually buy enough time, and of course, bought them that perfect free tower because of that proxy.
Oh, I mean, he was really trying to min-max it there, like, really trying to be useful, like, till the very last straw of health. Really scary.
Woo. Very scary indeed. Now we're looking at Uranus actually juggling the wave, actually stalling that pressure upon the bottom side so that it will eventually stack up and create a slow push heading towards the bottom side of the map. While we're already looking at 10 more seconds before more than here.
Yeah, you can see Zaraki, he has to come over and kind of clear up this wave. Lexia is in the way. They want to pick up Rin here. He is in a lot of trouble. He might have to use that concentration real soon to get on him. He already does it. Lexia, on the other hand, doesn't care. That spinning light wheel is going to be enough to run him down. The mobility from Lexia is just too much. But on the top side, Logan is facing the exact same problem. And Axis really want to go forward with this as they push on through. Lawson gets a really good flame shot onto Farsa. This is going to stop her and her and her ultimate as well. But Lexia finally joins out the fight, flickers forward. Is he going to make it? No, he does not.
Way too much pressure coming in, but Sino, how did he even get his way all the way up front? But he will have to deal with Kaiser X as well as Evil X. Two of his X is actually haunting his pass, but he will be pulled all the way back, but he will be able to actually dash right back in. So this chase will be never ending, and they will know to actually let go of Sino.
So they end up losing an inhibitor turret off of a really good fight. Members from the side of Team Bosskurr actually dying to Axis Esports. And that's a little unfortunate because honestly, Axis Esports, if it wasn't for Sino, would have been able to take Lord without any contestation and still have an inhibitor turret standing. Oh no, it's really low. What are you doing? Finish it off.
No, they should have actually finished it off in time, but Rush Macroft was already got himself into a sticky situation. And there goes Sino getting pushed all the way back, but it will be a shutdown towards that portal that they have been looking for. That Lord still stands in between. Everyone's falling. Oh my goodness! Team Bosskurr snatches it away. They've done it yesterday, and they are doing it yet again.
Oh, Zaraki. Oh, he popped his ultimate, and just the chip damage was enough. They have a wave crashing in through mid. 3 members already dead. 20 seconds, which Axis doesn't have. They need to clear this wave. And yes, they are trying. Rin is trying his best. He gets kicked on backwards. Logan at 1 HP. They clear out the minion wave, but they don't care. They're going to secure this team. Bosskurr find the win.
And this is the 2-1 that they have been looking for, as we see Bosskurr finally get themselves that series in hand. Congratulations. After some long and hard-fought battles, and of course, a couple of hiccups coming in from Axis, they let that slip away so closely.
Oh man, Sino is so good at Cho. It's not even funny. It really isn't funny. Oh, we haven't seen Sino play Cho in a long time, but he still got it. He still got it.
Yeah, of course. We gotta look back in towards the highlights and stats for us to actually break it down even further on how much of an impact he actually created in this past game, because he definitely carried the weight back into its game number 2, and now he's just really showing off why you should not get anywhere close that Cho if you are definitely in pretty low health.
Oh, let's look at the statistics real quick here. We need to see that impact. Oh, so, he may have, his KDA doesn't really reflect it, but he made such good decision making despite the current state of his team. Some of them were dying, some of them were a little split up, but independent decision making, cutting the waves nicely, getting attention when his team needs it. Just overall, well played.
Yeah, I gotta say that all the members of Axis Esports actually played it really well, and it's just that that team fight itself too messy for my liking. Like, I felt like the positioning for Long was not really perfect, although he did dish out some of the highest damage that we've seen so far inside the game. Look at him go. 37% of damage being dealt throughout, and of course, so far, Rush has been doing a little bit better than what he used to back in game number 2.
Oh yeah, for sure. He definitely helped out his team a lot, especially with the way he positioned with his Farsa. Really nicely done. Let's relive the experience one more time with this highlight and kind of see where it went wrong for Axis, because I felt overall it was a very even game, and arguably Axis was a little ahead.
Yes, indeed. And of course, we saw a lot of all these great trades, as we saw a little bit of that sort of chase against Leisha, which didn't really work out for Kaiser X. And he dove in again and again, which sometimes it does work out. And this is where, of course, that instance where it worked perfectly, of course, finishing off Sino all alone. And over on the bottom side, look at how tanky Rin is. Oof, too much.
He literally dodged every ability there, except for the very end. Then he finally dies. He buys so much time for his team to get that turtle and that free kill. Like, wow.
Yeah, and this is where, of course, Bosskurr actually went in for chase. We're going to kill over on the side of Lung. And a couple of times we see Sino getting heavily focused, but this also opens up so much windows right here. Like, look at Leisha. He just went in chasing through, because this is the main target that members of Axis Esports should actually hunt down instead.
Yeah, and they traded really well. At the end of the day, Axis actually come out on top with a profit of 1 extra kill. I don't know. Like, it's hard to say where it really went wrong for Axis. I think at the end of the day, it was that Lord fight that really hurt them. And Lexio was really far ahead into that game. Like, they should have finished that Lord much sooner and maybe even risk the 50-50. Worst comes to worst, just get off of it, get off of the Lord, let it reset, and then look to re-engage once Rush sets up his Feathered Airstrike.
Yeah, of course, it was really valuable that he has that up and ready at that point of time. But, of course, I do see that Axis Esports were pretty much ready for a skirmish. This is the moment where it just went down and out. Of course, look at where's Makarov is. Rin was actually focusing onto him, but the rest of the members of Bosskurr, they actually came crashing, looping from the back to force an engagement against members of Axis. Of course, when they managed to found Lung as well as Kaiser X, this was pretty much over because they don't really have all too much of a high damage to actually pop anyone off.
Yeah, and man, again, Team Bosskurr was able to hit that 41k mark. Axis, just let's look at the differential. Like, we don't usually have a game where the differential is that small, it's that minuscule. Usually, it's much larger, like a 4, maybe even 5k. But what a tough game overall.
Yeah, of course, we've already got that concluded, and of course, congratulations to Team Bosskurr and all the fans that have already been cheering them from Season 1 all the way up to now, if I must say. Of course, hats off to you guys. Of course, you guys are brand new supporters. We welcome you on board so far. Of course, here's some rewards for all of you guys who have been staying loyal and been staying in the stream for quite some time. Of course, there's going to be the redemption code for you to actually key right in. Visit www.mobilelegends.com to redeem the code as mentioned. So grab every single opportunity you can get and make sure stay safe, stay clean from COVID-19.
Yep. Remember, greed is good, but you don't want to pick up other things.